Listener discretion is advised.
The world's original podcast.
Welcome to Patriots Unfiltered.
Who would you rather have, Fred? Zach Wilson or Mac Jones? Oh, I did not expect that pause.
Right now, would you take Zach Wilson or Mac Jones? So you had a pause too.
Didn't expect him to pause either. I'm not going to lie.
We wanted to be more explosive. We wanted to be more of a threat on the outside, and it's cool to want things.
You can't simulate what it's going to be like in the middle of December in Gillette Stadium.
I think he went up to Antarctica and worked out on an iceberg. I like it when people say, "Where's Andy these days?"
Whatever happened to him?
Whatever happened to Andy?
Does Andy need a theme song? Do we tap the ladies for a
No.
a return from
Excuse
practice?
me, we're
Kinda
tapping
like-
ladies now on the show. If a tree falls in the wood, nobody hears it.
Yeah, one hand clapping.
Right.
And we're back to EEI.
Right.
I think the biggest thing.
A lot of shots here.
I also
That whole
think that there's
That's
idea-
fine. I'm
balance,
not
right?
telling you that that's wrong.
Okay, because that whole
You
idea
put
of
your muscles away over there.
closing.
Last season at home against
really
the
see
Bills,
that.
he went around to the fans screaming SMD.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
What do you think?
Save my drink.
Oh,
Biggest Jets game here in a decade? Is that you think this is the biggest game here since that playoff game?
Mike, I don't rank him.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Fueled by Duncan.
All right, welcome to Patriots Unfiltered. It is Thursday here at Gillette Stadium, getting ready for the Jets on Sunday. We got a full studio. We got Deuce, we got Tamara, we got Alex, we got Paul, we got me.
Well,
got
some
Matt
of
in
us
the
are
booth.
Got a lot of distractions.
Some of us are getting ready for the Jets. Other ones are getting ready for try to get Taylor Swift tickets.
Yeah.
Guilty.
Yeah, there's like rumors about a link going out
Links,
to get tickets.
private. We can't get you Taylor. Don't anyone call in and ask. We
She's
can't.
got 3 shows coming
Don't
up
at
at
me.
Gillette
Don't
Stadium.
at me.
What month is that in?
May. The month of May.
Don't be here before you know it.
Before you know it, we'll be dead of the off season.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens here with the. But if you see Alex, not Tamara so much, but if you see Alex suddenly freak out and start tapping away, you know, it's
That's
go
why.
time. It's
So-
go
Tamara,
time.
you don't care?
I don't.
Not a big,
No.
Good for
not a
you.
big
I
Swiftie.
think she's very talented, but I would never like fangirl over her like this. But it makes me think.
Is she chastising you?
No, I'm not.
It's fine. I own it. I'll
No.
never be
Wanna
too
see if
old
I
or
could-
too cool for Taylor.
Mike, I'm going to see if I can
But-
work my magic here.
But I do wonder, like, it is very impressive to see the way people are, like, my entire Instagram, like all my Instagram stories, everyone was showing the same screenshot of, like, waiting in the queue for the tickets. I don't think I have seen any other artist in the same situation. Like, I have not seen anything like this before.
No, especially here. I mean, it's people upstairs. You could cut
It's
the
all
Well,
tension.
Gillette is like a famous show for Taylor Swift. It's like the first stadium she ever sold out. The first time a woman sold out Gillette. So a lot of like emotional significance. So it's also like the destination concert. People come from all over the country for this show. So
Would you say that Taylor Swift is to women the way Bruce Springsteen is to men? Like it's cultish a little bit?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel that.
I always thought that was just like the BBWAA. Like they had to be.
Yeah, I know, right?
They had to be like a Red Sox beat writer to, follow.
No,
Bruce
but
around.
like
I think
guys
it's
that like
sports
Bruce
journalism in
Springsteen,
general.
they're like, oh, it's
Yeah.
Bruce, you
right.
know?
Bruce.
Yeah.
I know. I don't want to say got dragged because I do like Bruce, but I'm not one of those. But I went down to Jersey once with some friends who were just, there's a certain people that Bruce speaks to my soul, and I think that's how a lot of people are right now with Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Well, she has like a song for every aspect of your life. I don't know. I think I'm a writer, honestly, because of her. This is so corny. I hate myself.
That was great.
I am so basic.
I like how she stopped herself.
Alex was about to open up.
I pride myself on being like this cultured woman of substance and intelligence, and then this week comes and I'm like,
Swiftie.
girl brain.
I need tickets.
You just turned to goo.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, now I'm hoping that the email comes through while we're on the air. 'cause
I think it'll make for good
be,
radio
It'll
for you
make
guys.
for a lot of, especially on video, because you'll.
She has done a great job, in terms of like her whole machine, the marketing and all of it. Because Alex is right about there's a lot of big acts and that sell out stadium, but like I don't think you get this kind of outrage over Ticketmaster the way you did like on Tuesday because that stupid code that's supposedly
Pre-sale code.
Yeah, that
everyone got.
only the real fans, the real Swifties got.
She's done a really good job of marketing herself as like just an every girl. Like she has problems too. She has guys that treat
Well,
her
that's why I
bad.
was laughing when
You know?
Alex said, like, she has a song for everything. No, she has really a song about one thing.
Yeah, guys break
Every
up.
guy that broke up, every guy that
No,
treated her poorly.
She has a song this album about a guy she cheated on Calvin Harris. She wrote a song about it.
Write a song about
So-
it. Just write a song about it. It's like
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers.
Her songs have replaced songs like "Don't Stop Believing" in stadiums.
Oh,
You know, the song
I'm not
shuts off
making
and
fun
the
of Taylor
crowd
Swift.
sings
I
the
like
rest of
Taylor
Taylor
Swift.
Swift
I like
songs
Taylor
now.
Swift.
You know?
I mean, I really haven't liked much of like anything really recently.
You don't
But-
like her new album?
Yeah, not really.
No.
The anti-hero song, right? That's
It's
not,
me.
it's not
Hi.
like the new.
I'm
That's
the
you.
problem. It's me.
It's you. It's you.
Yeah.
She also
Mike
lets her
only
fans
know-
know that
Mike,
she
do
loves
you
her
only
fans.
know that
Every
from
fifth
TikTok?
song's dedicated
No.
to her fans.
No, I like that song. I've actually learned that song on the piano
Smart.
a little bit. So, yeah, maybe I'll play it for you sometime.
All right. Well,
All right, Patriots.
And that ends the Taylor Swift portion of the show.
as Alex
Maybe.
turns into goo, we're hoping Patriots fans are hoping Zach Wilson turns into goo.
Yeah.
this
Oh, well
weekend.
done, Fred.
Right, there we
Well
go.
done. Like that.
Good segue.
Wait.
Bringing it home.
Also, I really enjoyed the opening sound. Was the decision ever made between would you rather take Zach Wilson or Mac Jones?
No, it's just a lot of pauses,
Yeah.
Tamara.
Okay.
It was
So-
unbelievable. I said I would rather have Mac Jones, but you know me, I tend to look at the bright side of things.
Yeah.
And not everybody agreed.
No, I actually replied and I said I'm intrigued of what Bill Belichick could do with a guy with his physical skills.
And I think
Yeah.
that's a good answer.
Yeah.
Because I think that even if you're a huge Mac Jones supporter and think nothing of Zach Wilson, you have to recognize that Zach Wilson physically can do things that Mac Jones can't.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. I just don't like the headband too, though. That's
Oh, you don't like the
I
headband.
don't like the whole act.
I mean,
don't
there's
like
things
the
about
whole
Mac I've expressed that I don't like, aside from football-y kind of stuff too. But yeah, the whole headband with Zach Wilson, I think he could.
So we're coming to find out that Mike just doesn't like anybody.
Headband. I mean, does anybody like the headband? Are there any Jet fans out there that are like not want him to lose the headband? Like,
What's wrong with a headband?
You used to watch Saved by the Bell?
Stupid. Hell yeah.
Remember the buddy bands?
Yeah.
I
Buddy
do think
bands.
a
Buddy
headband
bands.
is more like a basketball thing. Like, why are you wearing a head? Like,
What about
just-
tennis?
But not
Or
even
tennis,
anymore,
yeah.
really.
That's true.
I don't like the headband. I don't know. Just bugs
It's
me.
impractical.
Yeah. Like some guys
It's
have like
honestly
big hair and they need to
impractical.
contain it, but what's he got?
If you have long textured hair and
Yeah.
like you need to pull it back totally, but like Zach Wilson definitely has like thin blonde hair.
Lose it.
Well, that's like his sort of his equivalent to war paint. You
Yeah.
know, some of the guys have the big war paint on. You know,
headband. That's how I get
That's his excited to thing. throw
12 interceptions.
so I don't care about the headband. If I was a Jets fan, I'd care about the interceptions.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I mean, and that's the thing. That last game. I mean, it just has to drive you absolutely nuts when you feel like you have a chance. You've got a defense that's playing well. You've got talent. Just don't throw terrible interceptions. It's like it's not even like they're like these interceptions are terrible. Like you know, you're like, don't throw it. I mean, you see them coming a mile away. The game last year in New York, the game this year in New York, where there's a couple of those where you're just like, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
Just all of a sudden, you like way late in the down, you're like, just throw it out of bounds, and all of a sudden, he's going downfield with it, and then Devin McCourty's just fair catching it.
anybody can make a bad throw. Like the first interception, the one that Bentley had, was just a bad throw.
Yeah.
He threw it over the top of the running back and just misfired.
Yep.
The other two were exactly what you're talking about. Like, don't do it. Don't
I
do it.
know.
He's going to do it.
You can-
And you have all this time to even think this while you're watching
Right.
because
Yeah.
it's so late in the down.
Right,
And he's
yeah.
just like keeps running to the
know.
sideline. Then he gets to the sideline and he starts to backpedal and it's like, don't do it.
Perfect, right?
Don't do it.
It's
He's
so
going to
perfect.
do it.
It's so perfect.
You know, when the Jets have been playing well this year, it's when he's not throwing a lot of passes. Now,
Yeah.
you know, Hall's hurt, you know, so that was a big part of them playing well.
Yeah.
You know, the running game and the defense.
I thought
But with him hurt, can they establish a good running game, or are they going to panic and say, you know, we've got to throw the ball?
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Jonathan Jones yesterday saying like against the Bills, they did pretty much the opposite of what they did against us, and
Right.
you know, just did a complete acknowledgement of that, and I think that's what they're expecting going in. That you know, Zach Wilson isn't going to give this game to you on the silver platter. I don't think he's going to either. I just think it's a question of, you know, where's the gray area in terms of the mistakes? Does he play lights out, or does he, you know, play okay? He stays out of the way. They run the ball a little bit. You know, he doesn't really have to do much, but it's big.
I do think that like the Bills' defense has been kind of depleted in the sense with so many people coming in and off the injury report. with like guys like Poyer, and they've had like 3 or 4 guys out, I feel like almost every single game. So it's like when the Jets played them, they were able to kind of reverse it and not throw it as much, run the ball more. But against the Patriots defense, are you going to be able to do the same thing? Because everyone's going to be playing on Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So
it's a good Jets defense for sure. You know, it's I mean, good point too. I was just reading too, Buffalo
They have
snowstorm
so-
coming, but they
yes.
also have illnesses going through them
Yeah.
right now too. So
Well, they said that, you know, they'll be counting that storm in feet, not inches.
think they
like
move it?
4.
Yeah.
Like
what's-
4 feet
And
of
then
snow. Yeah, they're thinking about moving it
And then
now.
I saw
Yeah.
something about a potential thunderstorm. I was like, what no, it was like a
Snow thunder.
snow thunder
Yeah.
or something. I was like, what's I've never heard of that.
We were there once and that happened.
What is that?
You and I,
Like
Freddie.
Oh, yeah.
it's thundering and snowing at the same
Yeah.
time?
Yeah.
Whoa,
That's such an anomaly.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
It's like Buffalo. Buffalo's
Yeah.
an anomaly. Coming off the lake.
It's the lake effect snow.
The lake effect, right?
Lake effect snow is the worst.
I wouldn't know, but it sounds like it's going to be bad this week. So
Yeah, Paul was saying that, I forget what year it was, but, you know, we got there and it was snowing like you couldn't even see. And then by the time the game started, the sun came out.
yeah,
You know.
you guys have probably had quite a few games of weather craziness there. I remember that game in the wind. Like was that
Oh,
like
yeah.
08 or 9?
08.
Like where they like
Last
the-
game of 08.
Ball was
Yeah.
just taking right turns.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
like
crazy.
impossible.
I was doing, at the time, I was doing the pregame show for WEEI. And I used to go to the stadium at like 8 o'clock in the morning, get set up, you know, on an ISDN line and do the show. And I was literally like the only one in the press box, and there was like a couple of stadium workers on the field. And you know the big white heated benches? Mm-hmm. They were blowing around the field. Like just
wow.
from one side of the field to the other. That's how windy it was. Those big white benches
Yeah.
that the players sit on in bad weather were just like flying around the field, and there was no one out there. Like it was just the goalposts were
That's
like on a
worse.
45 degree
That's worse
angle
than
to
last
the
year, right?
left and
Like
right.
that was worse than last year.
Oh yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wind that day.
It was, well, I
yeah,
think
I
last
think it
year
was
was
blowing-
more consistent.
Yeah.
That was gusty. Like you'd be like, okay, let's get the snap in between gusts, and then it would gust up, and the ball, like I said, it would take a right turn.
Yeah, I remember.
And I don't remember, but I think it was blowing more side to side.
Yes.
Whereas I think they were going into the wind and with the wind last
Right,
year.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember one where it was like the pass would start off normal, and then it would go like right angle.
Yeah.
And then everybody just kind of like,
It was just like, what are you going to do?
Gostowski missed an extra point in that game that completely just took a turn. It just went completely sideways.
His mom said he made it though. I think.
Yeah, well, he yelled at me and said he actually made it.
Yeah. That's an inside joke.
Inside joke.
Yeah, Mike. That was one of Mike's introductions to this. He must have been thinking, "What am I getting himself into?" Because, you either made the kick or you didn't. He's arguing that he actually made a kick that he missed.
So yesterday we had our first practice participation report.
Yeah.
And it's really based on like how they left off the Wednesday after a bye. So we'll see today if anything changes. But there's still some, significant guys on the report for the Patriots that are
Barmore,
not
knee.
questionable, but we're limited.
Yeah, Barmore still dealing with the knee
Yep.
issue. That's been unfortunate here. It's kind of derailed his season. I think one of the things I said in training camp was like, can we just get through a season with Christian Barmore being healthy the whole time? I just was so excited to see what he could do. I know he didn't set the world on fire early on, but I'd love to see him get back out there. Just guy that can bring a boost and help a lot.
The other one that got added was Jake Bailey with a back issue.
Mm-hmm.
I would, for a punter, other than your leg, I think the back would probably be one of the worst things you could have, right?
Yeah, he's another guy who's been kind of in the crosshairs of people for, subpar performances here. Not going to help. And I mean, it's just funny though, because like you talk about the punter and you're like, well, I hope we don't need the punter. Like I would love it if, hey, maybe the offense could pick up some first downs and move the ball a little bit and, take some of the pressure off him.
I think the punters are
So-
going to be key because field position. I think it's for both teams.
Fred, it's funny you bring that up. I talked to Slater yesterday in the locker room, and I asked him, I said, in that first game versus the Jets, you guys did a great job containing Braxton Berrios and not giving him the opportunity to give the Jets good field position. And he said, yeah, I don't think it's going to be that easy this time. He was like, that game, we did a really good job with not allowing him to get those big returns. He was like, but I know that the Jets are going to come out this game, play a lot tougher, and want to get him the ball so that they can have better field position, especially going against the Patriots defense, who's going to be playing them just as tough.
Yeah.
You can't stop Braxton Berrios. You can
Yeah.
only hope to contain him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Slater was like, we're expecting them to look totally different than what they did.
Yeah. I mean, Bill mentioned before the bye, or he mentioned yesterday, that the Jets will have wrinkles for us and we'll have wrinkles for them.
Yeah.
But, it's only been 2 weeks, or, 3 maybe.
Yeah.
But like, how many wrinkles can you really have,
Well, I think for the Patriots, I'd love to see them just have wrinkles that they are attempting to make some changes. And I saw yesterday Andrew Callahan kind of highlighted what Evan said on the show of Trent Brown taking some early snaps at left tackle.
So I wanted to talk about that. I was
like
going to
that.
wait for Evan to get here
Yeah.
because they seem to make it out. Some of the other writers made it out to be a little bit different than what Evan described.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Evan's right based on the injury report, because Trent Brown's not on the injury report. A lot of people were sort of indicating that Trent Brown didn't have his helmet on, and Wynn was working in at left tackle, whereas Evan kind of said there was some times where they were flip-flopping.
Right.
And he's not on the injury report, so this whole, he wasn't taking snaps at left tackle because he wasn't have his helmet on, whatever,
That's weird.
doesn't jive with the fact that he's not listed as having any injury.
The only thing about that, though, if they were thinking of making that switch, is why would they show it during media availability?
Right.
That's the only thing that gets me. It's like, I have less.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're going to switch them. I'm saying I think that some people were like, uh-oh, Trent Brown is banged up, and now they're working Isaiah Wynn at left tackle.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that that's accurate.
Well, we'll get another look at it today, so we'll see what's going on.
And Evan will be popping in after practice.
After practice, I think they're 12:40 again today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's another session, and we heard from Mac yesterday. He's back out. Did a what was the word? What did he say? Did a full, not self-analysis, whatever. I'm blanking on the word everybody's using, but
Self-scouting.
Self-scouting kind of.
Yeah.
Couldn't quite pin him down exactly. I mean, I feel like Tommy Curran's really. So what would you say you guys do good? That's kind of been his line of questioning the last couple press conferences. And,
well, I thought Karen Garigian worded her question well in that, she asked him, are you confident in the changes that were made over the bye that they'll help?
Yeah.
Assuming that there were changes made. You know what I mean? So she's kind of leading the witness there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giving him the off-ramp.
I agree, Freddie.
Here's the ramp. Take the off-ramp right here.
And he was like, I am.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
He just doesn't give you anything in these press conferences. And I mean, I granted I've only had Brady and Cam Newton virtually, so this is really, compared to Brady, this is only my second quarterback that I've gotten to see in these kind of press conference situations, and I know that they keep the reins tight on them, but he didn't give you nothing. I mean, did Brady ever get less interesting, ever randomly sometimes interesting, or was it just kind of the same thing?
Yeah, every once in a while he had a message, and you'd be like, whoa, remember the Marty Schottenheimer one?
What, 05 after
don't
they lost?
Talk.
Yeah.
He got really pissed.
Yeah.
And all Marty Schottenheimer was trying to
Poor
do was
Marty
say,
we're giving him an out.
we just smacked the Patriots around at Gillette Stadium. It had nothing to do with us. It was like they're just missing a lot of personnel. We caught him at a good time.
Yeah, right.
And Brady got pissed. Don't talk about our team.
Right.
Take our team out of your mouth.
Yeah, I mean,
Marty.
I think Brady never really gave you much.
No.
It was just more eloquent. It was all fluff, but Mac's still kind of, I think,
Kid.
Yeah.
learning the ropes of dealing with the media and the podium. Tom did it for how many years, and
I just think when you can see the talking point, they get asked the question, and then you see kind of the downloading answer, don't talk about yourself, don't make comparisons. There's got to be a list of rules.
Are you confident that the changes that you made during the bye week? Wait, I know this one. What did he want me to say on this one? I know it.
I mean, everybody's making a lot of
Changes
changes
bye week.
Yeah.
Well, that's like the NFL. We do that all the time, where he makes some reference to Pop Warner football, or that's what I love about football. It's always the same.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they asked him. I thought it was a good question. Giardi was just like, you had a week off. How does the ankle feel? Well, everybody's hurt. Everybody's
recovering from something.
It's always take the specific and make it general. But I hope they find something this week. I think that's what everybody's kind of waiting to see. And I don't want to say that people are going to be impatient, but I think to Evan's point yesterday of the come right out, handoff, 2-yard loss right up the middle. like you just I don't want to say that I was wondering what's more important, like a strong start or a strong finish here. Not that, of course you'd love to have both, but I continue to feel like they need to get a strong start. Like there's no bad start that I've seen them be able to overcome yet. So it just seems like the first drive you put so much weight onto it watching the game.
Aside from the score, what will be your first indicator in this game that, okay, the Patriots are going to be okay?
They put real quick. They put together one of their classic first drive of a game where it all, like, they planned it out. It all works. They go down the field and they put points on the board. I mean, ideally a touchdown. Sorry, Tamara.
No, you're fine. I think I was thinking about something Jacoby said to me yesterday in the locker room, because for the defense, for the most part, they said they want to reset because they know the Jets' offense is going to come out and look differently. And Jacoby said, well, we don't want to reset. He's like, we need to completely redo. He's like, we need to go out there and play better. And
so he
the
said,
biggest piece,
instead of reset, redo.
Yeah, he
so
said.
Just speak into the mic.
He
Redo.
said
There you
he was like, we want to go out there and be able to stand on our own. Let me say that again because y'all are so distracted.
Sorry.
He said, we want to go out there and be able to stand on our own. And I thought about it, and I'm like, that's true. They haven't been able to stand on their own. They've been leaning on the defense to score touchdowns or leaning on the special teams to give them great field position.
Or the other team to give you turnover.
Exactly. And so he's like, there are things that we still need to fix, and we need to be able to stand on our own. And in all these wins, they have not stood on their own.
So whenever a guy says something like that, we don't need to reset, we need to redo.
Yeah.
I wonder, okay, where did he get that from? Is that he just made that up on the spot, or is that like a theme that he's been hearing throughout the week?
Yeah.
The way he was like, well, on the offense, we don't think we need to reset. Like the defense, they are all saying the same thing. Like we can't go out there with the same mindset that we had in the first game because they're not going to play us the same. Whereas the offense is like, we didn't do anything well in that game at all. Like we need to figure it out.
Do over.
Yeah.
Do over.
So I just think it was interesting how like they are both on like different focuses, I guess, going into the game.
Deuce, in your roundtable today, you mentioned that Parker wasn't available.
That one snap.
Yeah, and now he is this game.
I think so.
Like, what difference does he make in this game, if at all?
I mean, I don't want to overstate it because obviously it's been inconsistent with him, but I do think it gives you at least another option to kind of throw out there. And I mean, I think Sauce Gardner's been really good, so try to avoid him. Maybe pull him away from Myers if you can. I don't know. I mean, after I asked the question, I was kind of like, well, it's clearly David Andrews is the one you're excited to get back that you think can make a difference. Didn't play at all in those last two games, and just how Cole Strange looked, et cetera, et cetera. I think Andrews is the guy that you hope can solidify the offensive line, get everybody kind of on track. But you always like to have Parker, and I mean, he certainly has had a couple games this year where he's been productive. So more productive at least than Aguilar or Bourne or Hunter Henry or Jonnu Smith. So. Like to just get him out there. I mean, I think it's just another option for him.
We haven't really had a game too where we've been able to kind of show, like maybe they're all number 2 receivers, but there's still a lot of them. There's depth, and that hasn't really been shown off in any game we've had. And Jets have a good secondary, and this feels like the game that it's like really all on the offense. I just want finally a game where they're comfortable. Everything kind of feels automatic. They spread the ball around, and I don't know.
Yeah.
They definitely haven't been able to stand on their own, and I keep thinking about that specific line from Jacoby, like, we want to stand on our own. And they haven't been able to do that.
What odds do you give that the Patriots come right on offense, come out and go fast? No huddle.
Like pick up the pace?
On that first drive.
I could see that.
I could see it, but I also think that you guys need to dip your feet into it. Like, I don't feel confident that you can come out and run play. You're all on the same page. You're all coordinated like that. I mean, I like it in theory, but I think the Jets are a team that doesn't really rely on a lot of different personnel packages. They can just kind of roll with what they have. So I don't know. I just want to get it right. I don't think that the pace thing out of the gate is necessarily that vital. I get it right. Don't make turnovers. Don't have negative plays. Those are the keys. And when you get fast, you get ahead of yourself a little bit. You might not execute quite as well, but they've had 2 weeks off, so I just want to see something out of the gate because you've had time to change, time to prepare. Everybody that's talking this week says the same thing that I feel, which is that this is a huge game and, I don't know, must win, but it feels like a must win.
I think it's interesting that both teams are coming off a bye. So they're both going to be well rested. They both had plenty of time to think about everything and make adjustments if they're going to. And so I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was Bentley was just saying a little bit yesterday about just they're so fresh in your mind, and you kind of have some carryover in that regard. But there's nobody's under any illusions, I don't think, of what they're in for this week. They're going to get a tough team that's going to come in here, and I think it's going to be a real good game.
Absolutely. All right, 855-PATS-500 is the Ace Ticket hotline, 855-PATS-500. Let's hear what you have to say. We'll start with Todd, North Carolina. Hey, Todd.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, Todd.
So I was listening to radio today. He said that it's
Todd, your phone sucks. What's going on? Talking to the phone. Todd.
Okay, there we go.
There we go. Yeah. All right.
So I was listening to ESPN radio, and they said if the Pats make the playoffs, it'll be Bill Belichick's best coaching year that he's ever had. So I was wondering, up to this point, what is Bill's best coaching year? What do you guys think? And I'll take the answer off the line. Thanks. Bye now.
Okay. Wow. Quick question. Best coaching year for Bill Belichick.
The first two that jump to my mind are the first Super Bowl and the last Super Bowl. I mean, I think that those two teams were not the best teams. Otherwise, I think they were, one of the best teams in the league, and had among the best personnel. I think those two teams weren't among the best, and coaching-wise, I think it's pretty good. I don't know. Are there any other ones in the mix?
I mean,
it's hard to be a
he has won Coach of the Year a few times, so I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you could say 11. They were terrible. They made it to the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't want to hand out awards for that season because it was so bad, but.
Really? It's so bad?
He really is unbelievable.
You go to the Super Bowl.
Well, they were
terrible.
I mean, it was just, I don't even want to think about that because they were so bad.
Just tired of 12-4.
Came, 12 seconds away from winning the title. I mean, I don't even want to remember that.
But they were pretty bad.
They were horrible defensively, and I wouldn't put that on a list of accomplishments for Belichick because he did nothing to fix the defense all year. I would say that.
Yeah.
Thanks
for pointing that out.
The fact that you're so traumatized by a trip to the Super Bowl kind of speaks to the spoiled nature of Patriots fans.
I like what you said about the first Super Bowl.
01 is his best coaching job.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to get past that. Entirely new team, lost their franchise quarterback, and they never lost again.
Right.
Like 14-3 with Brady or something like that. That was an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah. And then the last one, I mean, not quite as impressive. They were obviously at that point the Patriots.
I mean, they were probably the second best team in the league. I mean, I think we can all agree that Kansas City was probably a little bit more talented, and they went into Kansas City and won a war. I mean, an overtime war.
Yep.
That was like one of their toughest paths in recent memory, too.
That game was unbelievable.
Talk about entertainment.
Yeah.
Oh
unbelievable performance by so many people in that game.
Yeah, you guys all rave about that game, just the experience of that game. Like, that's just one, whenever that game comes up, anybody from this organization that was there just seems to be like, that was just the highlight of I guess the end of it. That was kind of the last.
Well, they start out by shutting them out in the first half. I think they were up 14-0 at the half, and thank God. Because the Chiefs just kept, they came storming back in the second half.
It was just back and forth.
And, so many third and long, fourth down plays that the Patriots had to make to keep drives going. It was amazing. And thank God that, who was it on the Chiefs that jumped off sides?
D. Ford.
Yeah, D. Ford.
Didn't jump. Lined up.
Lined up offside, yeah.
Ish.
Details.
Paul didn't think it. Everything but Patriots.
Neither did anybody else.
He sure didn't.
His Velcro strap may have been in the neutral zone.
Let's go to Christian in L.A. What's up, Christian?
Hey, you guys. Happy Thursday.
Thank you.
Football again this week for us. The bye is over, and we're at the halfway point. So a couple of things I want to ask you guys. One, I really hope that we've done something over this bye to get Tyquan Thornton more into the offense. This guy's one of the fastest guys in the NFL, and there's no reason why, with a little bit of movement, we can't get this guy exploding into some of these secondaries and get Mac and him in some rhythm together. That's one thing. Second thing, what I really want to ask you guys is, what is it going to take for us to develop an identity as a team? Like, what is this team's identity? Are we a short passing team? Are we a two tight end team? What's it going to take for us to develop an identity? And have you guys ever experienced a team that doesn't really have an identity going far into the playoffs or winning a Super Bowl?
I don't know. That's a really ambiguous question. You know, like what comes first, winning or the identity? You know what I mean?
You're probably right.
I don't know.
Right.
There are certain teams that Kansas City's identity, they're a throwing high-powered offensive team. That's their identity. So I'm asking, what is our identity? And has there been a team that doesn't really have a?
Well, I think that's Fred's point. Is like you get an identity when you win.
Yeah.
I think that's is that the
So
point you're
what's
trying to
it
make?
for us to get an identity?
I feel like our
I
identity
guess
is
Win.
just
Win
defense.
some games.
Yeah, I guess whatever
Doing
you
what,
do
though?
consistently is
Yeah.
your identity.
I would say if they let's say that they play defense the way they did in the first 9 games and they end up going 6-2 down the stretch, their identity is defense.
Yeah,
That's their identity.
a smart defensive team.
So
Right,
when
what
we get to
was-
the playoffs? We be that defensive team that people go, okay, well, that's what they are.
yeah, but right now they're a mediocre 500 team.
Right, and people keep asking this kind of question, like in the press conferences and stuff, and like they stink. Like, what do you want it to say? Like, they're like, go to any metric, they're not good offense. Why do you want it? The identity is that they don't produce. Like, that's what it is right now.
Whatever they've accomplished, it's defense. Their identity is defense.
Like, so what would you say?
Because the defense has been very
But
good.
but to Deuce's point, an identity can be a negative. It doesn't
Oh, yeah.
have to be a positive.
Absolutely.
So it's whatever
If you
you
know
do
what to plan
consistently that becomes your identity.
Like, do you remember? Did the Baltimore Ravens 2000 team have an offensive identity? I don't.
Nope.
I don't know.
That was a
I don't remember
defensive
anything
team.
about that offense.
Right.
That was a
The
defensive
identity
team.
of the team, it was a defensive team.
Right.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm asking, we're getting Tyquan Thornton more involved. Like, again, why can't this guy get down the field vertically? Christian Watson can do it.
I mean, they
Derek
can't-
Toney, all these
Okay,
young
so
can't hit anybody.
would you have said that Christian Watson can do it before last week?
I thought he was fast enough, and they
Yeah,
gave him some
he's
chances.
fast, but I
They
mean,
lost confidence.
Marquise Goodwin has been in the league as the fastest guy in the league for like 10 years, and he's never really made an impact. Like Christian Watson made 3 touchdown catches last week. Maybe that's his coming out party. Maybe he's going to be a great player in the second half. He did nothing in the first half.
Yeah. Drop some of those passes.
Okay, well, what about our guy? What's it going to take to get our guy in that position?
Get open.
Is right for some sort of breakout.
Yeah, get open.
Get open. Make a play.
Give Mac time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just hard to wish
So
for
maybe
those
Andrews
things when they
coming
can't
back
protect
helps
them.
us have a little more time so Mac can sort of wait a second and try to wait for this kid to develop his route.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Well, let's go, Pats, and here we go.
Thanks.
I mean, I think question 2 is like, what could their identity be? Like that. Like, I mean, if you were, I said today in the roundtable, like, what do you think their ceiling is? Like, if it all just went right and it started to work, what would it look like? I mean, I still think that they're kind of a run first team that's going to be off play action, and they're going to try to take some shots, and on third down they're going to go to Jacoby Myers. Like, I mean, that's if it all goes right, I see that, but I don't see it. I don't see this being a top 10 offense with a top 10 offensive
if they have
identity.
success in the second half, I think people will look at them and say, "Wow, the defense was able to do it against the better teams.
Mm-hmm.
This is a defensive team."
Yep.
They surprised us, and they were able to shut down the good offenses.
Complimentary.
Because I can't imagine they're going to start winning 38-35. I don't think that's in the cards.
No. Nope. Brad's of the Eastern Shore. What's up, Brad?
Well, good afternoon, folks in New England.
Hello.
I've had a conference call with M&T Bank, which is in Buffalo, and they are actually shutting down their highway this afternoon and expecting to shut down the airport by tonight.
Wow.
So that looks like it's going to be a massive storm coming in there.
So,
2 quick things. I am very confused as to why, after one jet sweep handoff that went for a touchdown, we are not trying to get Mr. Thornton involved in anything with speed. Either a quick pass to the flat, a quick little jab, 2-step slant, anything to get his momentum going has been non-existent since that one play.
I'm done with the Tyquan Thornton stuff. Like
No,
what happens when they throw the ball to him?
So last game they threw the ball. There was a bad pass at his shoes that he couldn't handle.
That he wasn't out of his break in, and if you listen to like Dan Orlovsky, like the timing of the offense is the problem.
Yeah.
Like I think that they've given all of these guys opportunities to do things, and they have not done that. Whether it's the receiver's fault, the offensive line's fault,
Right.
Matt Patricia's fault, Mac Jones's fault.
You go back to the last Jets game, there was a pass over the middle that Thornton should have had, and I don't know if he heard footsteps or something, but it was a drop.
All of his catches have been, and I actually think to his detriment, have been short throws.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's his game.
But short throws standing still.
Well, no.
Yes. If you go back and look, Paul, almost every one of them have been a standing still catch, and then he gets
I mean, you might be right. He only has 9 catches. So, like,
Right.
I don't
And
evidently they're just misusing the greatest weapon in the history of football. I mean, I don't know. He doesn't look ready to me. He does not look ready to contribute. As Fred said, the ball goes off his shin on one play. He's not looking on another play. Like, this is a Tyquan Thornton thing, not a you can put all the blame on Matt Patricia you want. I don't think the guy looks ready to be a major contributor. Like, in garbage time, he ran an end around in for a touchdown when they were up 4 touchdowns. Like, great.
Do that
Neat.
again.
Neat.
And see what happens. I mean, that's the problem. We did it once and it worked, and we've never used it again.
Okay, so that we got to get him more involved as a runner to see if we can break his collarbone
I'm
again.
saying use him for what he's got, and that's speed.
There's a
Get him
million
in
guys
motion.
in the league with speed. Can he do anything? Can he make an
Well,
impact?
So far
And so far, he hasn't.
they've
The
done
answer
it.
to that is no, he hasn't done it yet. I'm not giving up on him.
Yeah,
but I mean, let's face it, he has not made an impact.
I mean, none
I
of the
don't think
receivers.
they put him in a position.
Jacoby Myers is the only
That's
receiver
right.
who's made an impact.
Like if Aguilar had like 20 catches, and I mean, if it was really like nobody is producing right now, so it's
Absolutely.
great. Like we can want Thornton to produce, and I'm with you.
And I'm all for it, Brad.
you know?
I'm all for Tyquan Thornton. Give him more opportunities to maybe get down the field. I don't want him on short stuff. I don't want him on quick slants so he can get his light switch lowered.
Yeah.
With a head of steam going in traffic. That's not his game.
Give him an end around. Give him a jet sweep. Give him.
I don't want that. I don't want him in traffic so he can get smushed. He's small, and he already got smushed once. I want him down the field. I want him making big plays over the top.
I wouldn't mind seeing some of those Jerry Rice slants where he gets it and just goes.
I don't want that.
You don't want that? Why not?
Because I think he'll be on IR after the second one. Like, that's why. I think he's too small.
Put him. Don't
Like
put him
Devontae Parker, by all means, big body,
Yeah.
quick slant. He can withstand that punishment, and even he got hurt on one of them.
Well, the other statement I wanted to make real quick, guys, is I think Owenu has to stay at guard. I know we're struggling with the right side terribly, but that's been the only constant this team has had this season. And to move him somewhere else, I feel like is just throwing in the towel.
Bill agrees.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think Bill agrees with you.
Yes, Jerry.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's going to stay there.
Yep.
All right, guys.
All right.
Great week.
Thanks, Brad. You got Paul going, so job well done.
But Brad didn't really get me going. It's the whole whenever it's not working, it's always because somebody's not getting involved enough.
Right.
It's not because they're not playing well. It's because someone is being grossly misused.
When are we going to see more Pierre Strong?
Right. Look, that's the Pierre Strong of your
right.
blog.
Right.
Right. And I'm not telling you that Tyquan Thornton can't make plays. I like Tyquan Thornton. He's the only wide receiver that I think will definitely be here next year.
Yeah.
I think you can make an argument for the other 4 being gone.
You're right.
He's the only one I know will be here next year. So I'm not giving up on Tyquan Thornton, but at the same time, I'm not thinking this is Justin Jefferson reincarnate. They're just wasting him over there.
I think they can't do anything. Like, you got to get to the point where, if they were force feeding Aguilar, be like, man, this guy's probably not going to be here next year. We're wasting Thornton. Like, get him more involved. Like, I feel like they've been trying to get him involved, but nobody's getting the ball downfield. And I think there's plays too where Mac's locking on to him, trying to almost like the personification of
I'd like
what
to
they're
see
saying.
that.
Like,
I'd like to see them
wanna
do
hit a
more of
deep
that.
one to
Okay,
you.
like let's get one downfield. Let's every game let's take a shot or two to Tyquan Thornton. I'm all for that. I think Brad is right. I just don't like the manner in which Brad wants to do it. An end around, is like, yeah, that might work. Like, I want stuff that I can fall back on, and that I can use.
Sustainable.
Yeah, I want stuff like that. Not like the other team's not playing anymore, and I run an end around because they just fumbled for the 4th time in the last 5 plays, and we just ran it in from the 15-yard line in a game that's already over. Like, that to me is not something that I could say they really need to do more of that. Like, that's when that play happened in the Cleveland game.
Yeah.
It was like the third turnover of the fourth quarter inside the 10. That was the Carl Davis play. He got the fumble and ran it back to like the 10-yard line, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the
Ran
next
it in.
play was like an end around? Like, Cleveland really had a lot of interest in that play.
His other touchdown was pretty good. He had 2 touchdowns that game, right? I mean,
Yes.
that was decent. I mean, it
Yeah,
wasn't he
broken
wasn't standing
play.
still,
Yes.
and had some adjustment in
You
the
okay?
end zone. And
I got a tickle in my throat.
oh, I hate the
You
tickle.
want me to call the priest?
hate the tickle.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
Call the priest. Oh. Travis in West Virginia.
Oh, I'm sorry. Was that offensive?
The Patriots have a stretch coming up where they play 3 games in 12 days. He says there's a misconception that they would normally play 3 games in 21 days. However, this is false. Under normal circumstances, each team plays 3 games every 15 days.
15 days.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ish, right?
Ish.
I'm not good at math.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm going to go with the
Where you
emailer.
started.
I'm going to trust the emailer's math, not mine.
Yeah. That was
I'm
a
gonna
big.
go
That
15.
was a big question yesterday in the press conference, where at a certain point you're like, dude, like they're
No
on
one-
one game at a time. They ain't talking about.
No one makes more of the mundane than the Patriots media corps.
Right. It's like everybody that was teeing it off of 3 games in 12 days. Talk about the challenge. I'm just focused on the Jets, man.
The challenge. The only part of the challenge is the middle game.
Yeah, right. This short
Because that's
this
a short week.
prep against a team you don't really
Right.
know.
You play on a Sunday, coming off a bye, no issue there.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have a short week on Thanksgiving. Then you have a whole week for the next game. No issue there.
See, that's another part nobody's mentioned. Like, they're coming off the bye. Like, they've had extra time to get ready for this. Like, it's not like
Right.
they're like,
But the email is right. It's normally whatever it is, like, I think it's
like every
15
Sunday.
days. Every
Every
Sunday,
Sunday.
3 Sundays in a row. That's 3 games in 15 days.
It's not
21, which I think I may have said earlier in the week.
Unless
by
you
the
want
way.
to count the prep days leading into the game.
Right.
And then that might be more context for
Right.
what we're actually talking about in terms
But
of
it's only
rest
one
and
short
recovery
week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Out of
One.
the 3 games, it's one that's out of the ordinary,
Yeah.
and it's the Thanksgiving night.
Right. Then you got regular week till Buffalo, and then you got a long week waiting for the following, Monday night
You'd
game.
be off
So
a mini bye.
get a little mini bye. So it'll all work out.
Oh, they won't like that because it's a Monday night game off the mini bye, and they don't
Doesn't
like
count.
that.
That doesn't count.
They don't like
It's too
that.
confusing.
Joe in Warwick, New York.
They might have to play on a Saturday.
It's
at
going to be a
some
big
point.
game this weekend. The Jets' defense is strong and aggressive. At the end of the day, will Mac Jones be most resemble Sam Ellinger or Tua Tagovailoa?
Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa. Say it again.
Tagovailoa.
I mean,
Tagovailoa.
I mean, you're asking
my
me,
goodness.
will Mac Jones more closely resemble a potential MVP candidate or the worst quarterback in the league? Because that's I think what you boiled that question down to.
Can I make the cop out and say somewhere in between those two?
think
I don't think
so.
he's the worst quarterback in the league. I don't think he's capable of playing like the best.
Not yet. That's for sure. No.
If there's a needle, which way? Which
Right.
side? Right. Smack in the middle.
I mean, based on what we've seen, if you had to say one or the other, I'd go closer to Ellinger
Yeah.
because that's where he is.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And against that defense too, it's gonna be tough.
Last year it would have been closer to Tua
Yeah.
Yeah.
because he was like in the middle
bit.
last year, right? He was like,
Yeah. Perfect.
he was an average quarterback last year, league wide.
Right. Great.
So I would
Rookie.
say you're trending up.
Mm-hmm.
This year you're trending down.
Over under for Patriots sacks 3
Ooh.
this game.
Over.
Over.
I'm gonna say under.
Go get him. I think it's huge. I think they got to go get him.
Go get him, but what?
I think he
won't
run-
his direction this?
Wait a
week
minute.
be
Yeah, I think he
just
moves
throw it
well,
away?
and I don't think they're going to throw it. I'm
Wait. So I answered that thinking like, how many times is Mac gonna be sacked?
Oh no.
Oh no!
Sorry.
Patriots sack. Zach Wilson.
I'd say 3 total.
So push.
Yeah.
Push.
I'm going to say under because I think he moves well, and they won't throw it a lot.
Yeah.
What's their O-line situation? They were really banged up
Yeah, they
last
have another
time.
guy missing.
I say over.
Right guard. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have some bad thoughts if the defense comes out and doesn't really force any turnovers and doesn't really get much pressure, because then it's gonna be like it's 2021 all over again. The defense is gonna
Yeah.
go to sleep after the bye week. So I mean, you guys are right. I mean,
I wouldn't worry about
I
that
think
this week.
the
I think
yeah,
the defense will look good this week.
just not get sacks.
Oh no,
Couple.
I don't think they had a tremendous amount of sacks in the first game.
No.
But I thought they had pressure.
Yeah, well, that's what I feel like. I feel like you need to get pressure this week because I'm going into the game assuming that we're going to just get like a pretty good Zach Wilson that's not going to do totally stupid things. So I just think you have to force him into it. You know, you can't rely on, like we were talking about earlier, where he's kind of like end of the downs. Why don't I just put it up? Like maybe something will happen. Like I don't think you're going to get those plays this week, and you got to, get in and push him over the edge and force him into those mistakes.
Ben in Liverpool, New England, Liverpool, England. Listening to you guys the last few weeks, I get the impression that Evan
His return from practice
is a bit of a Mac apologist. Granted, I do agree with him that he's been done dirty, for lack of a better term, in relation to the coaching coordinator hires, sans Josh.
Sans.
The roller skater impression performance of the O-line and the lack of a top 5 wide receiver. That being said, I also think that Mac Jones has played badly and has left plenty of plays on the field. Can I ask all of you, roundtable style, how much of Mike's blame pie do you think Mac Jones is responsible for in relation to the offense looking desperately poor this year?
Oh, that's
some.
I don't like to do percentages. I don't know. I think the overall offense is a bigger problem. So I would say that the overall offense design, play calling, coaching gets like half the blame pie. I might give Mac a quarter of the blame pie. What's the last quarter? Protection. How about that? I think that sounds about what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I guess if you break it up, coaching, quarterback, receivers, O-line, 25% sounds good.
Less.
I
don't want to speak for Evan, but Mac is responsible for something.
Yeah, Tamara has turned into Evan. What happened to Tamara?
I have an ongoing debate in my mind. Who do I want to come back as in my next life, Belichick or Mac Jones? Because neither can do any wrong.
10%.
10%. Okay. Evan
Yes.
is back from practice.
Evan has returned from practice. Evan has returned from practice. Yeah, Evan has returned from practice. What was the mood? Who wasn't there? What did he see?
All right, Evan. What do you got?
A little bit of bad news today, unfortunately.
Oh.
No Jonathan Jones at Patriots practice on Thursday. Now, wasn't on the injury report yesterday. There is an illness going around the locker room that DeMarcus Mitchell has missed a couple practices with. Damian Harris missed a game last week due to illness. So potentially the flu bug or whatever it is that's going around the locker room has found Jonathan Jones. But, yeah, big one. No Jonathan Jones out of practice.
He seemed fine yesterday.
Yeah, he
He
seemed.
did. We all talked to him at the podium. He seemed great.
Usual happy self.
Yep.
Yeah.
Any insight into the tackles today?
Nope, no stretching only.
Yeah.
So we got kicked out before we could get into that. But I think that the tackle situation yesterday was more about just rotation, right? You cross-train guys, get guys ready in case of an emergency. Trent Brown wasn't on the injury report, so I highly doubt that was – I wouldn't look too much into that yesterday.
So I wanted to talk to, I was trying to wait for you to get here on that because I mentioned it earlier. Some of your other colleagues sort of indicated that he didn't have his helmet on and,
Yeah.
kind of intimating that Wynn was getting reps at left tackle in preparation of playing left tackle because Trent Brown wasn't going to be available. I completely dismissed that as a possibility, A, based on what you had said when we were on the show yesterday, and then B, when the injury report comes out, he's not on it.
Right.
So non-factor.
I can't imagine a scenario where Trent Brown is not playing.
Yeah, I would agree with Evan.
I'll just say tackle because I guess there is a situation where maybe they did decide during the bye week to flip them back to where they were last year. But in terms of him actually playing in the game or Trent Brown being the odd man out here, I have no idea how you get to that conclusion. None.
What else is going on out there?
Nothing. It's starting to feel, like I said yesterday, it's chilly out again today. And
Did you have to bring gloves again today?
I didn't bring gloves, and my hands are red. I really have to get on that. I got to get the gloves. But yeah, you definitely. Yes. Football weather, I guess, is the way that a lot of people would put it. But it feels like second half of the season in Foxborough, right? It's starting to get cold. I know in Buffalo they're expecting like 8 feet of snow or something crazy like that. So we're getting into that part of the year for sure.
We just got a report that they're closing the highway tonight.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Buffalo.
I think they're going to have to move that game.
Yeah.
What is football weather?
Well, I'm just wondering, like, does the other team come in today, or
Why
like, what do they do? The other team.
It's Cleveland. Maybe
Yeah.
It's not too long of a drive, maybe. I don't know. But the highway's closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've driven
Yeah.
to Buffalo. Whatever. Why do you? This is like the third time that I've referenced bad weather in Buffalo with you on trips, and you've looked at me as if I'm saying something completely out of left field.
We drove to Buffalo?
We've driven home from Buffalo.
As a team?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
I remember Andy's still mad at me because they had these big trays of wings, and they were passing them around the bus on the way home, and everybody's half asleep, and so you're getting the wings, and I get, Andy gets some, I take some, and what do you do when you're done? You pass it on, right?
Puff, puff, give.
Comes over. What you do? What you do with those wings? I go. I pass them to the next guy. Where are they? I go. I don't know. They're up there somewhere. Why don't you go find out? He's like pissed at me because I didn't just take a couple of wings and then give him the tray.
Oh, he's got. Well, that sounds par for the course of the Andy, right?
Yeah.
He just wanted the whole tray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was my fault that I had the audacity to pass it along to the next person.
I remember taking a bus home from the Jets.
We've done that as well, and
then
the train.
And I remember,
From
I
the
remember
Jets.
from Buffalo having to spend an extra night in Rochester.
Yep.
Oh, so I was born.
Because the hotel we were staying at, there was like this junior hockey worldwide championship. So the hotel was booked. We had to check out, go to another hotel,
Yeah.
stay another night.
I was on that trip too.
Yeah.
Weather game.
Buffalo's always a weather game,
Yeah.
even if it's week 1.
But
Still a weather game.
I don't remember taking a bus back from Buffalo. Really? Huh.
You didn't get any wings either, apparently.
Because that's like an 8-hour trip, right?
There was a long ride.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to find out that it was a Jets game, and I just, you know me, I misremember things.
Yeah, 'cause
Buffalo wings after the
the
Jets.
Jets game was like, they canceled the flight and we took a bus, and I mean, it probably took us 8 hours to get from
That Jets
the
ride
Jets
was,
game.
That was
to
a long
home,
one.
'cause-
And I remember they stopped on the pike. You're like driving the whole way. And you're like, you might as well just get home now. And all of a sudden, we stopped at like one of the rest areas on the pike. I'm like,
what are we doing?
we're like 10 minutes from home. Can we just get
Banged
home?
up. Oh, I hate that.
I was hungry.
Everybody want to go stretch your legs?
Ludlow.
Probably.
Shout out Exit 7. Former Exit 7.
Alex goes by it every day, twice.
Go to the
Knew a
Starbucks
girl
there
from
every day.
Can I ask a question? What would be football weather for you? Like everyone's like, oh, it's football weather. I feel like that. Like you start in the summer, it goes through the fall, it gets into the winter. You're saying it's getting cold, and people are saying this is football weather. But for me, I feel like football weather is like 55 degrees.
Yeah.
October, crisp. Like that to
I
me.
think for me,
yeah.
it's anywhere between 35 and 55.
Yeah, I would.
all the way to 35.
No, I don't mind if it's a little cold, but I hate like a lot of people say football. Like
Fall.
the whole thing with this Bills game, and I've seen some of this on Twitter. People saying, "Well, now we can't play in the snow." It's not about
not gonna be football.
It's not
It's
about
about
the actual
public
game.
safety.
Yes, it's about everything that goes into putting an event on in the stadium and having 75,000 people show up in the middle of a 4-foot blizzard like that. At some point you might want to take a step back and say
you
that
don't
might
take
not
a
be
home game from Bills Mafia.
that might not be the
They're
wisest
gonna-
thing to do.
Half of them are staying overnight anyway.
It's,
But-
it's
but
not
I've
the
never-
wisest thing to do to take a home game from Bills Mafia.
I've
either.
never understood the whole football. Well, that's how you find out who the better team is. No, it isn't. Like what and I don't want to play in 80-degree weather either. That's not football weather either.
Yeah.
Like the whole Miami thing,
Oh, the
where
Miami
they're just
thing-
wearing you down. Like that's not football weather either.
And they also put you in the sun in Miami,
Yep.
where the home team has the shade. It's
they
very calculated.
doctor the thermometer.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
See, there was
psychological warfare.
there was like
Yeah.
a 20-degree difference on the two sidelines the
Didn't
other day.
Bill do something like that against like the Titans in like 03 or something? Like
Constantly.
they had like
They put a thermometer
They put a
up,
thermometer
Constantly.
in,
There's
yes.
so on the away team tunnel over here, when they come out on the away team tunnel, there's a thermometer on the like siding of the tunnel.
Yeah.
And I remember when they played the Chargers here in the 18 playoffs, 2019, January 2019, all the players were coming out and they were like, "Oh my gosh, it's 10 degrees!" Like and all these sunny San Diego
Right.
guys are like, "Oh boy."
Fred will tell you stories about them intentionally leaving the snow on the sideline. They clear
yeah.
the field, and instead of taking the snow out of the bowl, they leave it on the sideline.
Yeah.
So the opponents can come in.
Snow.
Absolutely.
Cold is mental.
Yeah.
So,
But
so
I hate when the weather is the mitigating factor in who wins the game.
Right.
A lot of people do. Well, that's the sign of toughness. The tougher team wins.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Like Patriots Bills last year, right?
Yeah,
Right.
That's crap.
exactly
Did
what
you
came
hate
to
that
my
game?
mind.
so
That Patriots Bills game, that was terrible.
By the win.
It was terrible.
Evan, with the fact that the weather is going to be decent here this weekend, did that help the mood of the team at all?
The mood of the team was, again, I actually, look, you're coming off the bye week. I think a lot of the guys are ready to go, right? They want to get back into this and get back into playing games, and I feel the same way. I mean, I'm chomping at the bit to have a game to talk about again, because the email you read when I sat down, it's like, how many times have we answered this email, right? Of who's the blame and what's wrong with the offense? Like, we've done 2 weeks of this, and it's like, let's just play a game, and it might look the same, it might look different, it probably look the same, but
we
at
need
least
more
we can,
sample size. We need another sample to discuss.
At least we can talk about something else, some actual tangible evidence of this is what's going on.
All right. Well, we got a lot more to talk about. We got picks today, so we have to hurry.
We do.
Paul's Food's here, so we'll take a break. But before we do, I just want to let you know that this show is brought to you by the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism. Great memories are made in Massachusetts, no matter how you choose to make them. Indoors or outdoors, scenic views or city vibes, solo or family style. Whatever moves you, whatever the season, plan your perfect Massachusetts getaway at visitma.com.
Verizon, the network America relies on, and the official 5G network of the New England Patriots.
The ruling on the field stands.
We deliver jerseys, funny foam fingers, and everything you need for the game. But what you really get is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
Patriot Place is the region's #1 shopping, dining, and entertainment destination. Shop your favorites, including Vineyard Vines, Express, Olympia Sports, Petco, and more. Enjoy dining at one of our 19 restaurants, including 6 String Grill and Stage, Scorpion Bar, and Bar Louie. And don't forget about the entertainment. Explore your inner artist at Muse Paint Bar, watch a movie at Showcase Cinema Deluxe, or grab a controller and start gaming at Helix Esports. For a complete directory listing, please visit patriot-place.com.
How did Verizon build the fastest 5G in the world? We started by building it right with 5G Ultra Wideband. Then we gave it massive capacity and near zero lag. And it's not just fast, it's 25 times faster than today's 4G networks. This is 5G built right from the network more people rely on, only on Verizon. 5G Ultra Wideband available only in parts of select cities. Global claim based on open signal independent analysis. 25 times analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q2 2020.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Patriots fans, you'll want to check out the replay on this one. Pat the Patriot is stealing the show tonight with his Bank of America mobile banking app.
That's right, folks. So here we see Pat cheering, and then whammo! Is that Bank of America life plan?
Looks like he's saving up for some big future moves. Planning the next vacay, huh, big guy?
And wait, now he's paying back his buddy for concessions using Zelle? No penalty there. Incredible.
No way. As if that double move wasn't impressive enough, now he's beefing up his account defense with security meter? Holy cannoli, what a performance.
Bank of America's digital tools are so impressive, Patriot fans just can't stop banking. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/banking. You must be enrolled in online banking or download the latest version of the mobile banking app, only available on select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. Terms and conditions apply. Member FDIC.
Some people are never content with simply being good. Not when they can be great. But it takes a big step to get there. In fact, it takes a leap of faith. a belief in what you're striving toward, and a willingness to make the commitment day in and day out to something bigger than yourself. Putnam is proud to partner with those who share their own commitment to performance excellence. This is Matt Light for Putnam Investments, a world of investing.
There's no season better than football season, and there's no better place to get in on all of the action than with DraftKings, the official daily fantasy sports partner of the New England Patriots. To add to the thrill, DraftKings has millions of dollars in prizes up for grabs every week, so head to the app now and check it out. If you haven't tried it yet, fantasy football is easy to play. Just pick 9 players, stay under the salary cap, and pile up points for yards, touchdowns, receptions, and so much more. There's no better way to put your football knowledge to the test than to compete for a shot at $1 million in total prizes. Download the DraftKings app now and use promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week. That's promo code PATS to get a shot at millions of dollars in total prizes every week, only at DraftKings. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
Want to get into the game? Get coached up at Dean College. Equipped with exclusive academic partnerships featuring the Patriots, Revolution, Providence Bruins, summer baseball, and more, our classrooms are set up for success by learning directly from the pros. Dean College has programs in communications, sports management, business, and marketing with unprecedented hands-on experiences. Our students take what they learn in the classroom and put it right to work in the marketplace. At Dean College, our students don't just play games, we run them. Visit us at dean.edu.
Verizon, the network America relies on, and the official 5G network of the New England Patriots.
The ruling on the field stands.
We deliver jerseys, funny foam fingers, and everything you need for the game. But what you really get is so much more.
FedEx Delivery.
Game day spirit. What we deliver by delivering.
Patriot Place is the region's #1 shopping, dining, and entertainment destination. Shop your favorites, including Vineyard Vines, Express, Olympia Sports, Petco, and more. Enjoy dining at one of our 19 restaurants, including 6 String Grill and Stage, Scorpion Bar, and Bar Louie. And don't forget about the entertainment. Explore your inner artist at Muse Paint Bar, watch a movie at Showcase Cinema Deluxe, or grab a controller and start gaming at Helix eSports. For a complete directory listing, please visit patriot-place.com.
How did Verizon build the fastest 5G in the world? We started by building it right with 5G ultra wideband. Then we gave it massive capacity and near zero lag. And it's not just fast, it's 25 times faster than today's 4G networks. This is 5G built right from the network more people rely on, only on Verizon. 5G ultra wideband available only in parts of select cities. Global claim based on open signal independent analysis. 25 times analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q2 2020.
In sports, if you think joy only happens after you win, think again. Look at the world's most successful athletes like Serena Williams, Brooks Koepka, and Alex Morgan. They don't spend all their days grinding away. They take time to enjoy themselves, like getting together with friends over a Michelob Ultra, because they know that happiness is the key to winning, and that joy is the whole game, not just the end game. Michelob Ultra. 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. AB Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Patriots fans, you'll want to check out the replay on this one. Pat the Patriot is stealing the show tonight with his Bank of America mobile banking app.
That's right, folks. So here we see Pat cheering, and then whammo! Is that Bank of America life plan?
Looks like he's saving up for some big future moves. Planning the next vacay, huh, big guy?
And wait, now he's paying back his buddy for concessions using Zelle? No penalty there. Incredible.
No way. As if that double move wasn't impressive enough, now he's beefing up his account defense with security meter? Holy cannoli, what a performance.
Bank of America's digital tools are so impressive, Patriot fans just can't stop banking. Learn more at bankofamerica.com/banking. You must be enrolled in online banking or download the latest version of the mobile banking app, only available on select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. Terms and conditions apply. Member FDIC.
And now, great moments in history.
People are like, oh, even though you're vaccinated, you still have to wear a mask.
Well,
It's
no,
a-
they want you to because not everybody
Because of
else has
optics.
gotten it.
No, not everybody else has gotten
But
it,
like
so they
if
could
you
still
can
be
still
carriers.
transmit it.
Right.
They're not sure yet.
Okay.
Well,
that's why.
That's why they're trying to be safe.
Right.
But if
We
like
don't want to go back.
I know.
We're not
I
gonna
want the
go
masks gone so
Well,
bad.
Well, you never know. Strains, variants.
Well, they don't
I'm,
know.
I'm reading right now
kind
about
of
the
strains?
Middle Ages, and like we think we've got it bad.
What kind of
This
strain?
should be good.
The bubonic plague. We got nothing over that. I mean, literally half of Europe died.
Yeah.
When you got it, you died.
Yeah.
I mean, that was it. And, it lasted for a couple years, and then it went away. But then it came back over the course of 15 years.
Life expectancy was also like 17.
But it kept coming back,
Yeah.
over 15 years, and nobody wore their armor. That's why they wouldn't wear their armor.
That's another great moment from
All right, we're back. Fred had to duck out, so sorry guys, you're stuck with Deuce, man in the host chair. I'm not in the chair. I'm in my own chair still, but
A chair.
A chair. I got to jump into a quick email because I thought this was pretty good from Colin in Buckley, Washington. On Tuesday, someone wrote in about a hypothetical situation where negative points could be awarded. This has me thinking on my commute home, and I've come to the conclusion that negative points should be given on defensive touchdowns. I like that, right? Like instead of like that, you don't get the other team gets them away, and then it doesn't mess up your point per game total.
No.
All right, fine. That's the closest thing I found that makes any sense. Otherwise, it's like, well, you're not going to give it for.
To be honest with you,
I don't get it.
To be honest with you, I understand what they're saying about points per game and stuff like that, but when you actually do the math, teams don't score enough defensive touchdowns for it really to skew the numbers all that much. Like you're really talking about on the margins, because I've done this in the past, like where I'm like,
Patriots got 21, I think, right now, 21 defensive
right.
points.
So it's like 21 defensive points over the course of 9 games is really not.
And that's direct, right? That's like
that
pick six.
Right.
Like fumble sixes.
Yeah, I count the, block punt when you take over on the half-yard line. I count
that's a good point.
But that doesn't get counted in the actual touchdown.
That's definitely
that's like
a tougher one
DVOA
to-
stuff, right?
to sift
Like that.
out.
Yeah.
EPA.
That is a good question, though. I mean, is that? I mean, I know the yardage and achieving success, but I mean, do you get docked at all for like you didn't have to drive the ball at all? Like, does that factor into it at all? I mean, you just kind of have a 1 play or 2 play 1 yard scoring drive.
No, not so much. Stats like DVOA, for example, they more take into account down and distance. So like 2 yards on 3rd and 10 is not the same as 2 yards on 3rd and 1, right? Like that's more the difference than accounting for short fields or things like that. But yeah, when it comes to defensive touchdowns, you're really talking about like maybe half a point difference for some teams that have a lot of defensive points versus teams that don't.
Yeah.
It's really not something that makes a team number 1 in the league in scoring to number 15 in the league in scoring. It's really within the margins.
Another one from Spee. Don't worry, Evan. It's not directed towards you. Just a little funny lookalike. Do you think Mac looks like Alfred E. Newman?
No idea who that is.
Are millennials not going to weigh in on that one?
No clue.
Mad Magazine? No?
Probably not.
Zach Wilson, sort of the butt face you'd find on a Garbage Pail Kid. Wow. Garbage Pail Kids, you guys got that one?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
No?
It sounds like
Alex
vaguely
is funny.
familiar, but I can't.
Back in the 80s,
No
there were
tangible
Cabbage
memory.
Patch Kids.
I had those.
Cabbage Patch Kids,
And then they made Garbage Pail Kid cards, which were like, I mean, they're all kinds of gross things. I don't remember any off the top of my head, but yeah, sorry. Little walk down memory lane there. There's another one from Melvin. What's up, y'all? That's my Melvin. Patriots need to win this game, and I think they will. 2017, they need to win a game they aren't supposed to. Therefore, I feel better if they can also beat the Vikings next week. Is it more likely the Pats go 0-2 or 2-0? Right now, I'm feeling 2-0. I'm feeling it a little bit. We were talking about Minnesota yesterday.
I don't know if this was on air or not. I always get mixed up of what
Or
we're
what
talking
show
about.
it was.
Yeah, but I was not overly impressed with the Minnesota offense after watching that tape against Buffalo. And talk about defensive touchdowns, they had one, right? So they only scored 26 points, and 3 of them came in overtime. So they really only scored 23 points in regulation. And that offense is Dalvin Cook hitting a home run on the ground and Justin Jefferson, and that's it. They have nobody else outside of that. I think that's the type of offense, especially with Kirk Cousins at quarterback who can't really move, that Bill Belichick is typically feasted on. And they got a good enough defense, the Patriots do this year, to put together a plan that if this is your only guy in the passing game, we can take him out and make you play left-handed, and then Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
I think that's a very, very good formula for them.
One from Russell in Arkansas here. On the tackle topic the last couple of days, any chance they double dip at tackle this offseason, meaning in free agency and the draft? Also, is there any chance that Andrew Stuba can turn in as a solid starter? I thought he was graded high coming out of college, but fell because he was injured. Paul, please correct me if I'm wrong, but since it's about the O-line, I'm not sure you don't care.
You got the last part right.
Yeah. I mean, I think Wynn's gone, and
I think Wynn's gone,
and Brown has been healthy this year.
He could be gone,
but he's a little bit tenuous. But
he's got 1 year left on his deal. He signed that 2-year deal. Double dipping in free agency in the draft. There's not going to be a whole lot of tackles in free agency that are worth anything.
Well, they just signed this guy yesterday, and I don't have him in front of me, who was like a former tight end who's added like 30 pounds in the last 3 months.
I think that played in every other league that there is.
Yeah, like that's how desperate you are if you're looking to add like tackle depth right
Well,
now.
I'm not trying to sit here and say the Patriots' offensive line's been good the last month or so. Has certainly not been the case. But just for reference, PFF right now has them as the 6th best offensive line in football.
Seems low for them.
So the problem is league-wide with offensive line play right now. I mean, I asked the Rams about offensive line play. They have a Super Bowl roster that can't go anywhere because their offensive line is terrible. So this is a league-wide issue, and that's why in free agency, if you have a good tackle on your team, he doesn't hit free agency, right?
Isaiah Wynn's going to cash in.
Yeah, Isaiah Wynn might be the best tackle available, honestly. I mean, that's the way that it is right now in the league. The last really true stud tackle to come available was traded, and that was Trent Williams. Like, he's the last one that I can think of off the top of my head.
I mean, Teron Armstead went from New Orleans to Miami last
year. That's a good one.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's Trent Williams.
Yeah.
But
New Orleans also had massive cap issues. But yeah, that's a good one.
William in Philly's been holding on way too long, so got to get him on. Sorry, William. Hey, how you doing, man?
Thank God. What's going on?
Sorry about that. Fred left you hanging. I came in.
No worries. Everything good. Just listening. I got to speak on what Fred said. Fred said that the receivers are good enough. I think that's a lie. I think it hasn't shown. It just happened, and maybe with the Ravens, where Devontae Parker was going off a little bit, it might see my little glimpse and whatnot. But other than that, that's it. And then what Paul was talking about, as far as Ty Conthor, I don't want to see him doing jet sweeps either. I want to see him going out deep.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. Get the speed.
I wouldn't be opposed to seeing him more integrated into the offense. Give him more opportunities each week. I just don't necessarily want to send him into Krauts because I don't think that's something for him long term. I don't think he has the body type to, catch a lot of quick slants and take shots from like in zone defenses from linebackers.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree.
Jet motion, I disagree with if you don't want him to send him in jet motion because I
don't mind jet motion.
Yeah,
he's talking about handing them the ball all the time.
I don't know.
Someone wanted to get him more because he has a jet sweep touchdown. Like that's the missing link to the offense.
I wouldn't necessarily want to see him handed the football more, but if you send him in motion and then throw him the football,
now that's affecting. Yeah, that's affecting the defense.
Right
that's
now,
different.
maybe that's a little bit too far ahead for the current situation, right? I don't know.
He's
I don't
so
know if
down
we're
on
gonna,
every element of the offense.
I don't know if we're ready to
much.
send receivers in motion and have them catch
Except
passes, but I don't know.
Can I make one more statement?
Yes, Willem.
Okay, this is the last one. That's it. I think who was it? Fred, I think it was that said if I was using my first round pick on what receiver who I would trade for, you had to probably add more than just a first round pick. And Paul, you already said the person already, Justin Jefferson. I'm going all in to go get him.
Not happening.
Well, that's not happening.
Like
it's got to be a realistic target. Like Jerry Jeudy is the guy we brought up earlier in the week.
He's the only one.
There was like some talk at the trade deadline that he could be available. There's definite frustration on the part of offensive players in Denver because Russell Wilson's been a train wreck. I think that you could make an argument that you revisit that in the offseason, you might be able to get Jerry Jeudy, who's be 3 years in the league, so you get some experience, first-round pick. I don't know what kind of connection he has with Mac Jones. That might help a little. I don't know how much they actually played together. I know obviously they know each other.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to something like that. But Justin Jefferson would be better, but I I don't see that being even like more than 0.1% possible.
Tie him up on Thanksgiving and just throw him in the plane, drag him back.
I would love to give Belichick some truth serum on that 2020, right? Yeah, 2020 draft because Jefferson went the pick before theirs.
Yep.
And then as soon as the Vikings picked Jefferson, they traded out of the pick. And I would just love to know, maybe next week somebody will try to ask him just because it's relevant to that week. But I know you usually get those questions, oh, did you do any homework on this guy in the draft or whatever? And I don't think he'll tell us that deep. But
do you want me to ask on that Friday? I'll say, Bill, did you bang the table?
It just feels
when Minnesota picked Justin Jefferson the pick before you.
It just felt like how automatic it was that once Jefferson was off the board at 22, I think it was, or 20 or whatever, that they automatically just traded the pick. I just feel like that has to say something about their plans in that first round. I think Jefferson was their guy.
I think there's another one the year after, and that's Jalen Waddle. I think that they really like him.
Guys, they want the good receivers. They just can't get them.
From my intel tells me. I don't know about Justin Jefferson.
I'm not letting them off the hook for Justin Jefferson because it's called trading up in the first round. Like, you could have leapfrogged Minnesota to take him if you wanted him that badly. Waddle's off the board, right? You're not going to trade that far up. But if Justin Jefferson was your guy, you should have traded up.
Well, that was like Hightower and
I agree
Jones.
with Evan. Like, a lot of people, this is the same thing that we had with Justin Fields. And people attacked us for saying, like, well, no, you guys don't remember. He was gone. I'm like, yes, I know. Chicago went from, like, 19 or 20 up to 11 to make a move to get a guy that they wanted. You were at 15. You wouldn't have had to pay what Chicago paid to go where the Giants are, and you could have gotten him if you wanted to. Just like if you really wanted Justin Jefferson, if that was the apple of your eye and he's available 2 picks before you, you got to figure out a way to move up.
I'm just finding it so hard right now to really believe in what they need at receiver because they can't even get guys who are okay pros at least more than like 10 catches. So it's like I right now I'm kind of lost in the wilderness in terms of the offensive weaponry and where they go after this year. And like I think Paul kind of alluded to, like, do you just kind of let everybody walk and redo it? But I don't know what the answer is because they can't throw the ball to wide receivers right now anyway. So it's like, is that all going to be great? We got Jerry Jeudy now to run down the field and not get the ball.
And speaking of the PFF stuff, I saw earlier in the week that Myers was listed as like one of the top 10 potential free agents available.
Yeah.
So if that's true, it's going to be hard to envision him re-signing here.
Yeah.
If he has that kind of marketability.
I just have a tough time with Jerry Jeudy in particular because I'm not sure that he moves the needle enough for you. Like, how much better is Jerry Jeudy than Jacoby Myers? I don't, especially with Jacoby's institutional knowledge in the system. I'm just not really sure that that's this stark improvement. When you look at how teams have done it in the past with their quarterback going into their third season, it's Tyreek Hill, it's A.J. Brown, it's Diggs, obviously, in Buffalo. Like, that's not Jerry Jeudy. Like, Jerry Jeudy is not on the level of those 3 players.
Yeah,
so if you're going to do it, you got to go out and you got to get one of the guys in the league. DeAndre Hopkins when he gets traded to Arizona. It's not Jerry Jeudy.
He's not a guy.
Yeah,
he's a guy. He's just a guy, though. Not
and DK Metcalf was a guy getting a lot of buzz about it last year, but now Seattle's in it.
They signed him, yeah.
They're having a good year. Their quarterback has played well, and they re-upped him. So,
do you ever think at all about if that's how the Patriots 2020 season had gone, where you just have this kind of retread backup guy that you never really had any expectations for, and then he just comes in,
like if Brian Hoyer did that,
like lights out.
I think
I never once thought of that. Mike Felger did, as we were joking in the break. Felger was completely convinced that they would go 10-6 minimum and win the division with Brian Hoyer.
Yeah.
And he likes to say it wasn't a Brian Hoyer take; it was a Bill Belichick take. He thought that much of Belichick.
Right.
I will say after the Seattle game in 2020 and when Cam had 400 yards of total offense, I was
such plastic yards.
I thought for a second, okay, it
was like game 2, right?
This is going to be good for this year. I'm not saying that this is the answer for the next 10 years, but maybe this year he could be good, and then it obviously went where it went.
What did you think about Cam that year, Evan? I mean, we haven't. I mean, I know it was a terrible year, and he was terrible. But just what was your, what was your overall journey when they signed him? What were your hopes like going into?
I had zero expectations, zero hopes. I enjoyed the Cam Newton year because of one thing and one thing only, and I thought that
RPOs.
Yeah, basically. Like I enjoyed the fact that they did what they could to build the system around him with the quarterback runs, and that was something that they had never done before. So for obvious reasons. So when they were able to do stuff like that, it was fun to break down and to look at. I mean, I remember that opening game against Miami when he ran the ball like 15 times, and they're running QB power and like all this other kind of stuff with it, and I'm like, oh wow, like this is. I don't know how good this is going to be, but at least it's something different, right? And if it's not going to be Brady, at least we get something completely different out of it.
That's good. That kind of feeds into this email here from Adam from Dublin, which I think is a good one because, he just jumps right into it. Who is the simplified offense suiting? And I think it's a great question because that was what they told us, right, in the offseason, that we're trying to simplify things. And I think it made sense to us in terms of, all right, we had word that, post-snap adjustments, Josh McDaniels, it's all very complicated. It takes a while to figure out and know where you need it to be. That the simplification makes sense. It doesn't seem simplified for anybody right now, right? It seems almost more complicated and difficult for everybody to kind of break down. I don't know. You guys, thoughts on that one?
It's not sound. So it can't be simplified. Like you can't have the benefits of having a easier offense to understand when the scheme doesn't work. So that's I think the problem is that maybe it is simplified, maybe it is easier to understand or digest the playbook, but if the schemes don't actually work against NFL defenses, then I don't care how they call it in the huddle or what it's drawn up on the whiteboard, and if there's option routes or not option routes or whatever, because it's not working. So
and I also think you can't discount the fact that a good chunk of those people running the offense were running a different offense the year before. Now, this is operating out of the premise that there is a different, it's the different offense, okay?
Mac called it a different offense yesterday.
Right. So, Mac Jones comes in as a rookie, learns a whole system, and now you can't just say, well, this is easier without taking into consideration he has all of that knowledge from the other offense in his head. And now he's thinking, oh, when we run that, this is what we do. Oh, wait a minute. that's the old offense. Yeah. Now we got to do it in this offense. And, maybe the old offense required, and this is like that Dan Orlovsky thing that you were tweeting about, Ev, with, it's 3 steps. Well, was it 3 quick steps? Is it 3, maybe Josh wanted 3 steps one way. Maybe this calls for 3 steps another way. That might be easier. Like if you just matched it up, this and this might be easier. But when you're dealing with Jacoby Myers and Nelson Aguilar and Kendrick Bourne and Mac Jones and the offensive linemen that were all here last year, maybe it ain't easier for them because they're operating under a base of the entire other system. It's like, the whole Dan Duquette thing. We'll just take this guy out and we'll replace him because his on-base percentage is – it doesn't work like that. It's not – they're not spreadsheets. Like, they actually have to play. They're human beings. And what they already have in their head counts.
Yeah. I'm a human being. I like that. Sorry.
Is that like Adrian from Rocky? You're human, aren't you? I'm afraid. All right, I said I'm afraid. The first time in my life.
Sorry for all the non-Rocky
fans.
I
got Alex to laugh. For the first time of the show, she's not looking at her TV, her computer.
Refresh.
To see if the link is
There's
there.
all sorts of rumors going around.
You almost made it through the whole show. It better not ruin picks. That's all I have to say.
I'm starting to get worried about her a little bit over here.
Oh, I've long past that. You should have heard a declaration the first 5 minutes of the show.
We did a little minute in the intro.
You know what it's going to lead to? Is it's going to be the weekend of that show. Alex is going to be like Thursday. She'll be like, all right, everybody. I'm going home. And then there's going to be a back closet and she's just or she's going to burrow behind that
hiding.
couch. And she's just going to do one of those things the kids do in Walmart where they spend the night in Walmart and they hide it. And then the concert starts going the next night and all of a sudden she's got her ID badge and she's like,
it's going to be
oh,
me,
what's going
the whole
on up
CR
here in the
team.
field level?
Yep, me, the whole CR team, most of the content team, that's going to be us sleeping. Yeah. Evan's acting like he wasn't talking about it this morning.
Oh, he's rattling off Swift songs left and right.
Because I was getting texts from people asking me to buy tickets for them. For this concert.
The acquaintances are coming out of the woodwork.
Right. I'm in the mid-20s right now for requests.
Oh, my gosh.
I just haven't spoken
imagine
to you in 6 years.
Imagine being a millennial woman.
Whatever.
I want Taylor Swift
No,
tickets.
I can't imagine that.
It must be like the Super Bowl. I mean, you must have gotten this kind of stuff back in the day with Patriot games, I would imagine. Big games. Sometimes
this is worse than people asking me for Pat's tickets.
This is way worse.
This is way worse.
This is way worse. Like the Super Bowls, every once in a while, someone will ask me if I have access.
Just access. I'll buy them. I'll pay for them.
Oh yeah, no one's ever asked me to give them anything. Even for this, no one's asking me to give it.
Oh
to
no,
them.
no, they want me to buy them and then they're going to pay me back.
I'll
for
pay you
it.
back.
That's not going to be the way it goes down. If I do get tickets, they will be paying for them up front.
People are trying to give me profit to get tickets.
They're like, there's the sweeten the deal.
It's
I
so
should start
tempting.
down that road.
Right. I thought about that too.
A little something for the effort, you know.
But the Super Bowl, like the
What might be?
playoff games, sometimes people are like, they're looking to buy tickets for that, but nothing like this. This has been literally.
I know. I just want
every other day, someone else is texting me. Hey,
Uncle Paul.
Hope everything's going well.
Hope everything's going
Uncle
well.
Paulie. Hey, any chance I can get 18 for Taylor Swift? Yeah.
Don't you hate having to write those emails in your life? I don't think I've written a lot, but like the ones where you're like, I gotta ask somebody, butter them up a little bit.
I don't.
Evan, this is a quick one from Mitch from Albany.
Mitch,
he just wrote in. I was wondering if Evan could explain DVOA, EPA, and Illinois, but Evan actually wrote a whole piece. So I just want to direct you. We don't need to let him do the rest of the show.
Thank you, Mike.
Please, God.
Breaking down, but it was. I think Fred came up with the idea. I think to kind of do a beginner's guide to it. So it's on the site.
Yep.
I think we should probably link to it whenever you're doing a film breakdown and stuff. But those are definitely things that are becoming more common, especially DVOA, which I think we talk about a lot. That is not really a prediction. It's how efficient have they been, and they adjust things for situation. But dive into Evan's piece; it'll give you plenty of insight into that. Got another one. I'm going to try this name, Hilgen, Hilgyn, Hilgen. He said you'll probably butcher it, but no worries. Hi, guys. Long-time listener, first-time emailing in. I got married this past weekend. Congratulations.
Married?
Me and my wife are thinking of heading to the Cincinnati game as part of our honeymoon. Anyway, I just want to ask you guys, if we see no improvement in the offense against the Jets, will we ever see it this season?
Maybe don't come to the Cincinnati game. No, just kidding. Will we ever see it?
I don't think you can completely close the door if it doesn't flip overnight in this game. I think it's a good defense. And it's not only a good defense personnel-wise, but it's one that's familiar with you as a division opponent.
Always tough. And I feel like these games are always a little weird, too. Like, even when the Patriots were at the height of their powers, there were random games against the Jets that you were like, whoa, that was way tougher than I thought it was going to be.
I would say, Minnesota, Arizona, Vegas, if you don't see some signs of life offensively, 3 teams, none of which has a great defense, and none of which, maybe with the exception of the Raiders because of that institutional knowledge for Josh, that they're not familiar with you in your personnel. You don't see them all the time. You should be a little bit better against those teams than I would think that you'd be against the Jets.
Yeah, if the Bills and Josh Allen can't score on this Jets defense, then if the Patriots have a rough offensive day on Sunday, then I think you chalk it up to not the week to break out of a slump against the really, really good defense.
I'm still going to overreact. Quick game. I think this might be Paul. I don't know if you guys are in on this one, but quick game. Who am I? From Jack down the road in Stoughton.
Love the who am I.
Got 3 clues. I don't think I wouldn't have gotten this first one. We'll just see if Paul gets it. I played for both the Browns and the Patriots during my career as a defensive back.
Jason McCourty.
Antonio Langham.
It's a name you've never heard of. I had a career high of 7 interceptions with the Patriots.
Jason McCourty.
I made a huge play in last one. I now coach over at Howard, but before that, coached at Norfolk State, where I also went to college.
Not Jason McCourty.
Somebody called Ron Bolton.
Oh, Ron Bolton. I remember him. I went to Antonio Langham. Played defensive back for both the Patriots and the Browns.
All right, this one's a little bit easier.
Alabama.
I still think this might be Paul only, but we're getting a little bit more in the area. I was drafted in the first round from the University of Georgia.
Robert Edwards.
Ben Watson.
Robert Edwards.
It's a lot to pick from. Richard
got it.
Seymour, Isaiah Wynn, Sony Michel.
All right, last one. I think everybody should be on board for this one. This is a pretty famous Patriot of the last 20 years. I made a name for myself being a reliable target for Tom Brady during the dynasty years.
Jeez.
Julian.
You only get one guess. Julian, no.
You're out.
I didn't know I only got one guess, though.
Yeah, we'll let you back.
All right, you're back in.
Okay.
But the answer's not Taylor Swift.
I had a career low of 145 yards with the Patriots in 2012, but still had a great career overall.
Deion Branch.
There it is. There it is.
Caught one.
Did he fall off a cliff in 2012? Like, because he was pretty good, I thought, when he got back in.
I thought,
2010,
didn't he only
2011?
play for like a couple games at the? I thought that was like a mid-season.
Yeah, I mean, plus, that's like year 12 or so, right? 11, anyway. Wasn't he 02 draft?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. Quick one for a looky-loo ahead. Hey there, guy. Just a guy. Hey there, guy. Hey, guy. This is from King Cesar. Patriots have $60 million in cap next year.
No, they don't.
With the $60 million, what do we do?
They don't have $60 million.
What do we got?
That number's inaccurate.
Less?
It's like 40 something.
Yeah, it's way less.
Do we fix the defense, part of the O-line, go offense in the first round?
What are we
The
fixing
weapon?
on the defense? The number one defense in the league.
You sounded like Bill right there. That's not really fixing the defense. Number one defense.
Last
in the
time-
league.
last time.
I don't know. I just what's
rubbing off on you?
What are we fixing? Number one defense in the league. I don't know what you want to fix.
Do you really think that? Before I argue with you.
Do I really think that? I don't want to say yes because we've seen this movie before, right?
Okay.
Where the
we don't have to argue about it then.
The better quarterbacks come in and light this defense up, but I do think they're better equipped this year to handle it in the secondary, especially than they have been in years past because of the safety group. But I still need to see it to believe it. Yeah. That's fair.
We don't have to argue that.
No, I need to see it against these good teams. But I think they have a chance to prove something to all of us. You know, I mean, it's a tough schedule. These are good teams that you know. As for the offseason, I don't know. We'll have to get there first. Couple more here, emails before we get to picks. I think last week we did pretty good, right? We didn't start picks till like 140 or
There's
so.
buys and stuff.
We were right in. One from Stratford. Quick thought: should the Pats have tried signing Amari Rogers when he got released by the Packers? Or do you think Orlando Brown from Kansas City is worth signing next year? A couple free agent ideas.
Orlando Brown might be a guy. I think family that Bill has some familiarity with.
Trent
but
Brown-ish.
Amari Rogers.
Yeah. No.
Loved him coming out. Has not worked out
It's
at
like
any
four
level.
fumbles on punt returns. Or
Yeah,
something.
no, he's been terrible on returns.
It's like Cyrus Jones.
Receiver just doesn't have the burst as a receiver that he had in college. Just completely fell off. Yeah.
This one. What else? So a little bit about Buffalo too. Buffalo. Yeah, there's no question here, Tony.
You can't just email in with a
I'm not
take.
as good
You
as
have to-
Fred. I'm not as good as Fred as this.
You really aren't, and I never thought I'd say that about anybody.
It's hard to read and talk at the same time, out loud. Here's one I got from Pedro.
Vote for Pedro.
I was wondering what all your thoughts were on the response Bill gave to the question of how beneficial was the bye week for your team in terms of healing up and resting for the second half of the season. BB replied, "It's always good to get a break." I know Bill is usually reserved in his answers, but do you think there is any competitive advantage to not answering this specific question? Sometimes I think Bill chooses to be difficult in the press
See what
because
I
I
mean
just
about
don't see
wanting
a
to
reason
come back as Belichick?
as to why this question can't get a normal answer.
That is a normal answer. Like
I'm turning into such a curmudgeon with these emails and callers. I'm not gonna lie. It just let's step it up a little bit, all right? Like, what are we asking about?
Wow,
this
look
for?
at now he's chastising the
I'm
listeners.
sorry, I
He's
love
throwing
you
the
all,
challenge.
but it's like, can we please?
Sounds like you don't love them.
Doesn't seem like you love them.
Sounds like you don't.
It's not personal. It's just that we're trying to have a good show here. We're trying to get emails and calls to tee us up on things, and we're asking questions that
I just
are
think
not
that
important.
the vast majority of coaches in that league, as I try to stifle a cough,
He snickered.
that
sounds like
they all use coach speak. Like in general, there are football cliches, and like it's always, is it good to get David Andrews back out there? It's good to get all our good players back out there.
What else
like,
is he supposed
like,
to say?
What do you want him to like? You're gonna go.
He's gonna
with,
save us.
You're gonna go with
Oh,
your.
yeah, I mean, our line calls without him were terrible.
I mean,
and
you saw what happened to Cole
stunk,
Strange,
and we had
right?
to bench him. And, I mean, what is he going to say?
There's a lot of like just football coach 101 talk. Like that is inherent with the job, and most guys answer questions. Now, I will agree that some of them do it in a more entertaining way than Bill does, and some of them make you think that he's telling you something, but they're really not telling you anything more. They're just doing it in a more good-natured way.
Do you want him to all be Mike McDaniel?
Right. During the
Stop running Justin Fields.
during the bye,
He's funny.
they got a chance to get some
Hilarious.
rest. It's always good to get some rest, of course. Like whenever the bye comes, it's a good time, Like Cliche 101. That's what they do.
The question's a cliche in and of itself. It's kind of just like a puff.
It's like
fluff
the question now, like the question du jour is, you have 3 games in 12 days. How are you going to handle it? And it's like, this is the Patriots. They're going to say they're taking it 1 game at a time. They're not going to go into.
We talked about that a little bit.
We gotta get our bodies right. We gotta get our mind. No, they're going to say we're focused on the Jets, which is exactly the response that question has gotten from every single player and coach.
Every year they play a Thursday night game, so they have a short week. Right?
We always ask about the short week.
Every year, and that's all this is. It's a short week.
Here's a good one from Jake from Australia. Good day, mate. Me and Evan were talking about this a little bit. Why the hell are we paying Jake Bailey so much to be a subpar punter?
Is he yelling? All caps?
All caps or something? Yeah.
You guys actually spent time talking about this?
I don't know. Somehow Evan just came out of the blue. I don't even know how it came up, but he was just like, that's a terrible contract.
It's a horrible contract. His money is fully guaranteed next year as well.
See, I say things like this all the time, and this is some of the stuff that Fred really gets mad at me when I make fun of the cap and stuff. It's like, instead of spending, $15 million on a true difference-making skill position guy, we'll have the highest paid punter in the league, which is completely and utterly meaningless. And that's fine, because if it doesn't work out, it's only like, whatever, $3 million, $4 million?
It's
like
$3 mil.
Peanuts in the grand scheme of things. But I look at it as like everybody else's punter is making nothing.
Right.
And even if your punter is the best,
which he's not,
which he has been far from the last 2 years, it's meaningless. Like it's not really for that one game that, wow, Jake Bailey pinned 3 of them inside the 5, and that was the difference in the game. Like, when does that happen? Yeah. Every time he talks about the other team's punter being a weapon, it never materializes. Johnny Hecker and the like. Who was the guy this year? The guy from the Lions.
Bad teams have good punters.
That's number one, but
that's what it says psychologically. Like, we need to invest in this player because we can't move the football.
Right, but who cares?
The Bills still haven't made the Bills punt in 2 games, so I don't even know who the Bills punter is. Well, now I really don't know who it is after what happened with the Bills punter. But the Jake Bailey thing is. Punter? Think about it for a minute, and it'll come back to you.
But who do they? I don't know who the Bills punter is.
It's a new punter now. Yeah. After what happened to the Bills punter.
Okay.
Anyways,
Bohorquez isn't there anymore, right?
The Jake Bailey thing is fascinating because they gave him that contract coming off a bad year.
Yeah.
And now he's still having a bad year. And I asked Matthew Slater about it on Monday, and he was honest about it. He was like, yeah, we haven't been good. And he tried to take some of the blame off of Jake Bailey and say, we got to cover the kicks better. And we, net average that's everybody. That's not just Jake and all this kind of stuff. But the problem is that Jake Bailey wasn't a good punter last year. And they signed him to this extension, and he's still not a good punter. And now he's on the books for $3 million next year guaranteed. And some people that are way more knowledgeable about punters than I am think the guy on the practice squad is better than he is, Pilardi. So I just don't know. I don't know what they were thinking about giving a guy that already had the yips that contract.
Can you call out the people that think that they know more about punting than you do? I like to know who we're dealing with here.
No.
I don't know. Who times punters?
Barth.
Bedard.
I'm telling you, there's this kid at Westfield State that he's absolutely lights out. That's my
the guy that I was telling you about, the Bills punter that I won't name out
the guy
loud.
that you're talking about the kid they drafted and they had to cut because he raped somebody.
Barth was a huge fan. Huge fan.
It's so ridiculous. It's such a waste of a draft pick.
Thrown under the bus.
And I'm not telling you it's a waste of a draft pick because he was involved in a rape. He's a waste of a draft pick because you don't ever want him on the field.
Especially for a team like Buffalo. It's like, how often are you really going to punt? Like,
I mean, do you want to talk about what's his face from 2 years ago that they drafted too?
That was last year.
What's his face? No, I'm talking about the Patriots. What's his face?
Oh, with the tattoos?
Rohrwasser.
Yeah, you could make an argument to me, like if you had Justin Tucker, okay, I'm going to make him the highest paid kicker. He's that good.
I would draft Justin Tucker in the first round.
He never misses.
Yeah.
Certainly not an important one. There's comfort in that. That's putting points on the punter.
The other thing about Justin Tucker that's different too, though, is that he can make it from 60, right? So now you're in field goal range as soon as you cross over the 50-yard line.
A weapon.
It really is.
All right, quick game before we do our things. I like this, a little Thanksgiving dinner award game via Tyler from Natick. So the example is you're going to have a Thanksgiving dish, and then you're going to name a Patriots player that corresponds with the dish. So
I'm not good at
his
these. Alex,
example
pay
is
attention. You need to bail me
he does
out
a good
here.
he does a good job explaining things. Grandma's green bean casserole. Grandma took the year off from cooking after this being a dependable dish every year, and you never realized how important it was until it was gone. And a player that might receive that award is Shaq Mason. All right, so that's kind of setting it up. So don't worry, it gets easier. So Mom's Mashed Potatoes Award. As dependable as it gets, they rarely let you down, but are not the main course that everyone will be raving about.
Devin McCourty.
Good one. David Andrews.
Yeah.
I was going to say Jacoby Myers.
Nah, three good ones.
I like those. Burnt dinner rolls. You were disappointed, but you just have to throw them away and move on.
Nikhil Harry.
Nikhil.
He's not even on the team anymore.
I would go with all of the receivers.
I was gonna
except
say.
for Jacoby Myers.
I'm going to stay away from that one.
Baked mac and cheese. This dish is new to the table, but is a welcome addition that you hope to see annually for years to come.
Mondre.
Nah.
I'll say Thornton just to be
Oh,
different.
I thought you were going to say Marcus Jones. I'd say Marcus Jones. Anybody? It's a new addition that you're excited about.
That's not
Is
good.
it Parker? I don't.
There isn't.
What's the new? I'm trying to think of new edition. I don't know.
Last one.
How's that chat room going?
Cousin
What
Bert's
number in the queue are you?
You are now
The email hasn't been sent.
4,372. Cousin Bert's Brussels sprouts. I like Brussels sprouts. Cousin Bert must have taken a cooking class because last year this dish was just meh, but this year it has greatly improved. Anybody taking a big step?
Dietrich
this year?
Wise?
Dietrich
Wise.
Dietrich
Ooh, there you
Wise.
go.
Get on the Brussels sprouts. Finally, smoked turkey. Showstopper. MVP of the meal. Matthew Judon.
Yeah, I guess Judon.
Yeah.
What were the ones we didn't
Speaking
get?
of Taylor Swift.
Those are all of them. It was just kind of give your opinion. There wasn't a right answer.
Oh,
All right, and with that, it's week 11 in the NFL. Paul, what happened last week?
It's a bad week for everybody. But Mike and Fred were a little bit better than most at 7-7.
Oh.
Evan and Paul were 6-8. Alex was 5-9.
Yeah, I knew I had a bad week. Started off rough.
Yeah, it was bad for everybody. With the spread, some found a way to fight through the doldrums.
Some.
Me. I was 9-5. Evan was 8-6.
Take that.
Mike was 8-6. Fred was 6-8, and Alex was 5-9.
Ooh, my worst week yet.
So
Got things on your mind.
overall, Paul 90-59-1. Mike one game back 89-60-1.
Wow, tight race.
Fred 81-68-1. Evan has the best record percentage-wise, 63-39.
Percentage.
And Alex is 53-38. So Evan is 618 winning percentage, and I am 603. So Evan still has the lead with the spread. This is just a blowout. 89-58-3 I am, which is only a half a game difference. Same winning percentage from my overall. 89-58-3. That's rock solid. Mike 75-72-3. Nothing to hang your head at. You're making money.
After last
You're making
year.
a case.
Take
He's
it.
making an argument.
I'll take it.
Sam, he's making an argument. There he is. Fred 61-86-3.
Wow. Just lost his feel.
Evan 50-49-1. So slightly you're making you got your head up.
Yeah.
Alex,
Need to be
sorry. 42-48-1.
That's not terrible. It's better than I
Better
was
than
last
Fred,
year.
right?
Better than Fred.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on.
You are 467. Fred's 417 winning percentage.
As long as I don't finish the race last.
That is the goal, and that was what happened to me last year. All right. We start things off with a matchup here between the Titans and the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay coming off a win. Not sure what did Tennessee do last week.
Tennessee won. They beat
won.
Denver 17-10. Tennessee, I'm sorry, Green Bay is favored by 3.
Big
and I
win.
have Fred's picks here, so I will inject his witticisms when appropriate. Mike?
I'm gonna start things off. I'm gonna go with Green Bay. I don't know. I'm not sure why. Home game. I do like Tennessee. I think they are a good team, and I'm not sure what's going on with Green Bay. If that win last week against Dallas was legit, but I'm gonna take Green Bay at home.
I'm taking Green Bay, taking them to cover in this game, and I'm taking Aaron Rodgers to be the Patriots quarterback in 2024.
You and me are going to speak that into existence, I think.
Why 2024, not next year?
I just don't know if they're ready to give up on Mac quite yet, but I watched that Dallas game last week, and I'm like, man, this would be great. Like, how can we make this happen?
I'm not even really that good.
Alex?
I took a lot of dogs this week against the spread, so this could get ugly. But I'm taking Green Bay to win, Tennessee points.
Yeah, I like Tennessee as a team better than Green Bay, but I don't like that Thursday night thing. I take the home team in general terms, so I will take Green Bay. Fred likes Green Bay to cover as well. So,
all right, starting over at Sunday, 1 p.m., we have the Chicago Bears against the Atlanta Falcons. Chicago coming off a lost 31-30 to Detroit. Atlanta lost to Carolina 25-15.
Falcons by 3.5.
Yeah. I mean, I want to get on the Chicago hype train. I think they're having a little bit of growing pains here. I don't know if I can pick them just yet. But you know what? I'm going to. I'm going to go with Chicago on the road, Justin Fields, see how it looks.
I'm going to go Chicago also. I just think Justin Fields has reached a new level. I think the Patriots he can thank the Patriots for it.
That's right.
As always, you can credit Belichick.
Yeah,
I mean, what else would you do?
Just checkers. It's destroying the NFC North.
I'll go with the Bears. Upset.
I'm going Atlanta both ways.
I hate this game. Fred does too. I will take Atlanta to win. I will take the hook and take Chicago. Fred says Bears win, advising the squares to lay off this one.
The squares?
What are the squares?
Ooh, the squares.
Squares.
Squires?
In other words, the opposite of sharps.
Is that like a 60s term? Oh, I got you. All right. You're a square.
It's Fred. I mean, what do you want me to tell you?
All right, next up. Cleveland at Buffalo, and what is we don't know where the game's going to be played, if it's going to be played, but right now it looks like it's still on.
Cleveland by 7. Buffalo by 7.5.
7.5. Seems like that's dropped a little bit, maybe. Yeah, I'm going to take Buffalo to win, but I'm going to take those points because it feels like if they do play this game in the weather, it's going to be low scoring and probably tight. So I'll take all 7.5 of those points for Cleveland.
I'm going to take the Bills both ways. This game could be in Buffalo, could be in Qatar, could be in Detroit, and they're going to blow out the Browns.
I'm going with Mike's strategy there.
Split them.
Yeah.
Smart. Sound.
I will take the Bills both ways. I'm with Evan. Fred says Bills cover. Buy points here if you can.
I love that he's like handing out advice suddenly. Like he has to like he's the sharp giving out.
When he was in
tips.
Germany, he must have been disappointed that we didn't add context to his picks.
I know he didn't.
So.
Well, that's probably why he added in it.
Yeah.
Next up, we got the Philadelphia Eagles against the Indianapolis Colts. 1 p.m. Sunday.
Philly by 7.
7. What does Jeff Saturday have in his bag of tricks this week? Matt Ryan was back. Jonathan Taylor ran crazy again. I like Philadelphia to win, but I'm going to take those. I'm going to take those points. I think it's going to be a close affair.
I think Philly bounces back. I think they win this game. I think that they win big because I think the Colts, it's like that one game thing, right, where the new head coach,
death rattle.
Everybody gets riled up for it, and now the realness of Jeff Saturday being your head coach comes out when you play a good team.
I'm giving Indy the points here.
So you'll take Philly to win
Yeah.
and take the points?
Mm-hmm.
I am doing the same. I will take the points. I agree with Evan. I think you get that one game bump.
We can do it.
But 7's a big spread on the road, and I would be tempted to pick an upset, but not coming off the loss. That got their attention. And
yeah.
So Philadelphia to win, Indy to cover. Fred says, let me see if I can find that game. Eagles cover, middle this game if the spread moves.
Middle.
So he likes the Eagles.
All right, next up we will skip over the Jets and Patriots. We'll come back to that one. Don't worry. We flutter our paper, as is our tradition.
Gotta hurry.
L.A. Rams at the New Orleans Saints, Sunday, 1 o'clock.
Saints by 3.5. As far as I know, Stafford's still in concussion protocol.
I think he's out, actually.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think yesterday he was out and full participant. Looks like he is going to play.
Okay.
Seems like Andy Dalton, I believe, still going for the Saints.
Yes.
I don't know. The Rams have been terrible. But I'm gonna maybe Stafford comes back and they find something. I'm gonna take the Rams to win on the road.
The Rams offense, the numbers on the Rams offense are deplorable. Like we think it's bad here. Their first and second down offense is by far the worst in the league right now, which is Sean McVay's bread and butter. Like that's where he makes his money. But I still like the Rams in this game. I can't pick the Saints. I just nothing good about the Saints right now that I can pick.
Rams upset.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Rams too. I was prepared to take the Saints because I didn't think Stafford was playing, but I think I'll go with the LAR. Let's see, what's Fred like? Oh, Saints win but don't cover. So New Orleans to win, LAR to cover. All right. Go ahead.
Next up, Sunday, 1 o'clock, Detroit Lions at the New York Giants.
This is good. You have the games in order today. I like that.
Okay, good.
Giants by 3.
By 3. Ooh, that's a tough one. Nah, you know what? I'm gonna stay on the train. Giants back at home. I'm gonna take Brian Dable, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, and I think they get a win over a rough Detroit team who does seem like they're not totally terrible, but I just think the Giants will pull it out.
I haven't been convinced about the Giants all year long, but I can't pick them to lose to the Lions. So I'll take the Giants, and I think that they'll win by more than 3.
7-2. Wow.
Well, I took them to lose against the Giants.
All right, hold on. Mike, who did you take?
I took the Giants.
Giants. And Alex, you have?
I have Detroit.
Detroit. And Evan has the Giants.
Yes.
Yeah, I am going to take the Giants as well. I can't pick the Lions, even though they've won 2 in a row. I can't do it. Fred does not pick this game, so I am going to give him the Giants.
All right, next up Sunday at 1, the Carolina Panthers at 3-7 at the Baltimore Ravens 6-3.
Ravens by 13.
Whew. 13 points. Now, Panthers did win last week over Atlanta on Thursday Night Football, 25-15. But I don't think that's going to help them this week. I'm going to take Baltimore and lay those points.
I think is this Sam Darnold?
It might be.
Is this Sam
coming
Darnold's
back?
game? I think PJ Walker's hurt.
Is that Sam Darnold's music?
Well, I thought Mayfield played
a little bit. I saw on
week.
Twitter that they want Sam Darnold to be involved. I have no idea what that means.
We got to have a package involving Sam Darnold.
Right, because he's Lamar Jackson, right?
Right.
So this is definitely Baltimore winning. 13 is a big number in an NFL game, though. So I'll take the Panthers to cover that spread, but Baltimore is definitely going to win the game.
I gave it all to Baltimore.
I gave it all for. Never mind.
Did it all for the nookie.
There you go. I am going to go with Baltimore, and I'll take the points as well. I think 13 is a lot. Now, I have no doubt that the Ravens will have that double-digit lead because they have it in every game they play, but I'll take the points. Let's see. Fred says Ravens win but don't cover. Fast-laning this one. Don't even know what that means.
Vacillating?
Fast-laning.
Vaseline?
So
Baltimore, Vaseline too?
Carolina.
Lubing it
Fast-laning.
It's just like a stream of consciousness thing where he's rattling these picks off by
Yes.
himself up in his
He's
office.
like talking to himself, typing it out.
And you know the thing is,
It's like his emails that he
you know,
sends.
he didn't have
that
any appointment or anything. He's like upstairs, like listening. He's like stickering to himself.
Oh, I'm getting him good. Sunday at 1 o'clock, Washington Commanders at 5-5 travel to Houston to take the 1-7-1 Houston Texans.
Washington by 3, and it will be Heineke, right?
Yes, Heineke. Chains Heineke.
Heineke coming off the big upset, 32-21 over Philly. I think they keep the train rolling. Why would you not take the Commanders, lay the points?
So we were talking earlier about Jerry Jeudy and receivers that I would go after. How many first-round picks you give up for Terry McLaurin? Because I might give.
I loved him coming out. They don't listen to me.
Yeah, I'm taking the Commanders here as well, and I'll take them to cover too. I think the Texans are terrible.
I've had pretty good luck betting, or not that I'm actually betting, but going with the Commanders, and I'm switching it up this week. Houston. Both ways.
Ooh, upset.
Wow. Alex, try to make your move.
Well,
Upset.
like earlier in the season, I was the only one that picked the Commanders, and I was like, fire the or not fire the coach.
cannons.
That's
But
not
then
what
you
they
found
did.
out about Dan Snyder. And you're like,
The Dan Snyder. That's why I picked them to win. I was like, they're going to rally around this Dan Snyder news, and I was right.
Do you think a team ever rallies around their owner's drama?
Certainly not his. I took Washington also, and Fred says Commanders cover. So we're both on Washington. What do we got? Vegas and Denver next?
Next up, Las Vegas 2-7. Josh McDaniels, though it does sound like he will be back next year, according to reports, are at the 3-6. Of course, they're at Denver.
Denver by 3, of course, at home. You forgot to mention that.
That's
they're at Mile High.
I screwed that up too.
Denver by 3.
I keep picking the Raiders, and obviously I keep losing, but I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do it in Denver. Josh, former coach there. Maybe his team plays hard for him in Denver. I don't know, but I'll take Denver on the upset.
So
Vegas on the upset.
Did you see the follow up on the report about why McDaniels is staying?
That they're cash. That
they literally can't
strapped.
afford to buy him out, which is wild. I'm gonna take the Broncos at home to win this game. I like that Broncos defense. I know they've given up a lot of points this year, but
are they the
I
best
feel like
defense in the league?
I feel like they play really well.
Yeah.
I picked a Vegas upset.
I'm going to take Denver, too. I do think that the best unit out of the 4 units that plays is the Broncos defense. So I'm going to go with that at home, and Raiders just having one of those years. They'll find a way to lose. Fred says, Raiders win. The line is true, but it's all about the spot.
Truer words have not been spoken.
I agree.
I'm not sure what
Can't argue with that.
425.
Can't argue with what you don't understand.
425 Sunday, the Dallas Cowboys at 6-3 against the 8-1 Minnesota Vikings. This is a good red zone game for us, Paul.
Dallas by 1.5.
1.5. Tough game. Minnesota at home. I'm going to go with Dallas in this one. I think that'll set the Patriots up, but I agree with everything we've been saying about Minnesota. It doesn't seem like it's as good as it looks in terms of their record. So I'm going to go with Dallas in this one.
So Minnesota, last week aside, much better at home than they are on the road. Their splits, home road splits, are really heavily favored to home. So I'm going to say Minnesota's going to win this game, but I'm still not overly impressed by the Vikings. I like them at home in this spot.
Home dogs, Minnesota both ways.
Yeah, I'm going to take Dallas just because I think they're the better team. And everybody will make fun of me because I don't believe in the Vikings. Fred likes the Cowboys. Cowboys cover. No witticisms on that one.
Correct. Sunday, 425, Cincinnati Bengals at 5-4 against the Pittsburgh Steelers at 3-6.
Cincinnati by 4.
Now, this is a game I think if you're a Patriots fan, you're rooting for Pittsburgh, but I think it's futile because I think Cincinnati's going to win, and I will lay the points.
And they're wearing their all-white uniforms again, I guess.
Crisp.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati wins this game and covers the Steelers in one of those teams as well where what do they do well? Like, I can't really think of anything that they can hang their hat on and be like, we're good at this.
Cincy, both ways.
Yeah, I'm going to make it unanimous because Fred also likes the Bengals. I'll take the Bengals to cover.
All right, Sunday Night Football. Nice one for us after our game. The Kansas City Chiefs at 7-2 travel to their divisional rival, the 5-4 Los Angeles Chargers.
Great game.
Kansas City by 6.
Yeah, we've been talking all about it. I think Kansas City's the best team in the league. I'm going to take them, and I'll lay those points.
I'm going to take the Chiefs as well, but I'm going to take the Chargers to cover the spread. This is going to be a great game. This is one of the better games the early part of the season as well, right? That was a Thursday night game, I think it was.
Yeah, it was a good game.
Yeah, back and forth. So I think it's going to be close again, but Chiefs.
Chiefs with the points.
Yeah, I am going to be with Evan. I'll take the Chiefs, but I'll take the LAC to cover. At some point, some of their players have to play in some of these games, right?
I mean, you'd think.
Mike Williams is supposed to be back. He's on my fantasy team. So.
Oh, there you go.
Okay,
yeah.
So that's good enough for me.
Deep threat.
Fred likes the Chiefs as well.
All right, it's Monday Night Football. San Francisco at 5-4. They have a divisional rival game against the 4-6 Arizona Cardinals.
San Francisco by 8.
I can't get a beat on these teams. Like, these are two teams this year where I don't feel like I have any real sense of how good or bad any of them are.
That's a big road favorite, huh?
That's a big road
favorite. We're not sure about Kyler.
Right.
I'm going to take San Francisco to win. I'm going to take the points just to kind of balance it out, though.
Yeah, I'm with Mike. I'm going to take San Francisco to win, but divisional game, I think it'll be closer than 8 points.
I'm giving San Francisco the points.
Yeah, I am going to I'm going to take the points also. I think the Niners will win the game, but I think 8's too many for a division home game. Fred agrees. 49ers win, don't cover. Sharps all over this one, but it's a light handle.
What is
he typed in gambling jargon and then just threw the words in.
It was
there.
like an AI bot that just spit it out.
Yes.
All right, we go back now. Sunday, 1 o'clock, our big game. The New York
never had
Jets
paper to do.
travel. You're against paper. The Jets travel to the Patriots.
Do you use your notes app like me?
Big
Or
one.
do you just read the
I'm trying to
DraftKings?
save the earth, unlike some people.
You wouldn't have liked Eric. What do you got, Paulie? What's our line at these days?
Patriots by 3.5.
3.5. So I am going to take New England to win, but I'm going to take those points to the Jets because I feel like this is going to be a very close game, under 20 points. I have New England 19-17. I think it's just a weird back and forth, tight nail biter, but I got the
Mr.
Patriots to win.
2-0 and all of this bravado and the offense. 19-17.
Man,
wow.
Not fun.
I like the Patriots too, but I have 2017. But because I have to pick a direction, I'll give it the Patriots to cover this one. I still just don't trust Zach Wilson at all.
Wow. He's such a homer that he has to take, even when the spread isn't covered, he has to just take the Patriots to cover.
Yeah.
His score did not indicate a cover. Alex, are you going to do the same thing? It's
Pats
not a push.
win.
It's 3.5.
Oh, you said 3.5?
Yeah.
Oh, then I take the Jets to cover.
Okay.
Because it's 2017. I thought it was 3.
See what I did there? I made him change his pick.
Pats win. Pats cover. 27-16. I don't know why. I feel like it'll be kind of similar.
Hope so.
To last game.
Yeah, I am going to take the Pats both ways. Fred does also. We talked about the game all week. I just can't. If I'm a Jets fan, I have confidence, but I have trepidation with Zach Wilson screwing it up. Yep. And that's where I think is the difference. I think the Patriots defense has feasted on horrible offenses like this. They find a way to take the ball away a couple of times. That's the difference. 19-13 Patriots.
The Jets did just get some reinforcements on the offensive line. The doctor, Laurent Duvernay-Tardif,
the doctor is in.
Signing with the Jets.
Yeah, he can't play Sunday, though, can he?
Just letting you know.
After being out all year?
Just giving you
After
some
saving everybody from COVID?
It's inspirational, though. Like
Duvernay-Tardif.
Yeah.
I guess the pandemic is over, according to...
There we go.
According to the good doctor.
All right, well, that'll do it for us. The playbook is up next. Be sure to tune in Sunday, Patriots pregame show at 10:45. We'll be out there for the postgame show as well, so make sure you tune in for that. Huge
Last
game this weekend for the
10:45 show
Patriots.
in a while for
yeah.
Deuce.
Enjoy it while you can. Otherwise, we will see you next Tuesday.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show? Please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.
The world's original podcast.
Thank you.